And we should be live again. Hello, welcome everyone. Waiting for confirmation before we're embarrassing ourselves more than we usually do.
Yep,
Yes, I got
Yep, that's playing.
Alright, well, say hi everyone.
Hello!
Hello.
Hello.
Greetings, friends.
Yes, the captain has returned once again.
Yeah. Or not really, but, you know,
For the first time.
close enough.
Close
Yeah.
enough. Alrighty, yeah, a lot of movings these days. Luke just moved, you just moved. Elise.
Well, I haven't exactly moved yet. I just bought the house. I'm just slowly sorting it out because I've been sorting out the utilities. And today I've just went and bought some appliances and various bits and bobs for it.
In the process of moving then, very well. And Elise, even though she isn't here yet, is also just recently moved. Man, 2023 is a dissecting moving year, it seems. Except for me, I hate moving. I'm still traumatized about the last time I did.
I haven't done any moving recently, but I have been moved up to a full-time position at the TV station that I work at.
Nice, well done.
Yeah, thanks. It's gonna be an early morning shift, but at least, you know, I have the benefits and whatnot, and there's also positivities. Like, for one, I won't have to deal with trying to hunt for a parking space, because that's usually been a problem whenever I've done the PM shifts. But with early morning shows, that rarely happens.
Yeah, that's the advantage of working in the early morning. Everyone's still sleeping, so you got the road all for yourself.
Yep, just gotta work in there, getting there at 4 a.m. in the morning and whatnot, and get done at around noon.
Oof. Yeah, I have a very early shift myself, too, so I know the pain.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well. Yeah, I guess people gotta practice and rehearse their roles early in the morning.
Yeah. But yeah, aside from early morning stuff, I also just felt like watching a movie I haven't seen in a long time, and that was James and the Giant Peach. And it's like, yeah, after all these years, I still enjoy it. It's a nice film.
Very well. Okay. I haven't seen it, so...
Oh, really?
Nope.
Mm.
Yeah,
So,
Barbarian, I know.
Here's a fun fact about it. The book, because it's written by the same guy who wrote Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, in the book, when the peach is first rolling down the hill, it actually crashes through the chocolate factory.
oh yeah.
Oh, dark.
I had no idea it was
because-
like some sort of shared universe.
Well, the movies didn't, because James and the Giant Peach was made by Disney, and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory was made by Warner Brothers, so...
Yeah, both versions, yeah.
Very well, I guess. But yeah, Roald Dahl always had this weird sense of humor. Man, I hate that guy's name. I always want to say Ronald Dahl, but it's like Roald.
Roll the doll.
Roald, yeah.
Yeah, I remember back then I always kept pronouncing it as Ronald Dahl, but it's like, no, it's Roald Dahl or something.
You British
Yeah.
and your weird names.
Apparently, he wasn't very happy about the movies that were made from his books.
Yeah, most of them. I know he wasn't really happy with the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory for a lot of personal... Well, yeah, he didn't like the choices that the film made, and even went out of his way to make sure that its sequel, Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator, didn't get the film adaptation.
That's what.
Probably good,
Yeah,
because it
it's-
wasn't such a good book anyway.
Well, as well as being annoyed when they made The Witches, when they added the happier ending.
Oh
to it,
yeah,
and
the more
he was
happy-
like, "No, I want it to be the original ending. I was crying tears of waterfalls from the original ending."
Yeah, I think
Was he
the
even
only-
crying? I think he just likes dark ending, or kind of has a very dark sense of humor. Sorry, Melting, what were you saying?
I was just saying, like, out of all the film adaptations that were made when Roald Dahl was still alive, I think the only one he actually liked was the BFG, the old animated one. He actually liked that one.
Yeah.
Same.
Not even Mathilda? Oh wait, it wasn't a Roald Dahl story, was it?
No, it is.
Oh.
I think that was made after Roald Dahl passed away.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, there's Matilda, and then there's Matilda the musical, and then there's Matilda the musical, the movie.
Yeah. I mean, there was a bit of a thing going around on Twitter where one guy was angry, like, "How dare they Britannize this American classic?" Without realizing where the source material came from.
Yeah, having no idea that the original was made in Britain or so.
Yeah.
You darn British, you have too much of a monopoly on all the literature anyway.
Well,
Lord of the
then maybe all
Rings,
the
you got Harry
people-
Potter, you got
Charles Dickens,
Charles
William
Dickens,
Shakespeare.
exactly. It's like, you got
That's
everything. Leave something for the rest of the world. You attention
Narnia.
hogging bastards.
Well, then they should
Yeah.
write something decent for a change.
Well, I mean, you Europeans have Discworld. That's like I don't think that series ever made it here in America.
That's true. And also British, so darn it. You have
Yeah,
everything.
but we got Star Wars, so
There you go. But that's not literature. Although it does have some novels, I suppose. Although they aren't canon anymore, part of the extended universe.
right, yeah, Disney axed all of them.
So you finally had some literature and Disney axes them all. It's all Disney's fault. Oh well, you still have Neil Gaiman, I guess. Oh, no, he's also British, isn't he?
I think so.
I don't know.
The guy from... I have to look it up now. Anyway, yeah, we're still wasting a little time before we started. Anyone else have something personal to say?
Well, kind of relevant to what we were just talking about. The only American author, I mean, obviously there's lots like Stephen King and stuff, but like the one that came to my mind for fantasy was Christopher Paolini, who wrote the Aragon series.
Oh yeah.
I've actually met him
Oh, cool.
because he also lives in Montana. Or,
Ooh.
I mean, I no longer do, but like, yeah.
It's still your
So
childhood
he-
place, yeah.
Isn't L. Frank Baum American?
I don't know who that is.
He wrote The Wizard of Oz.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And yeah, Neil Gaiman is British, so there we go. I know.
No, I can't remember. I always thought he was British, but let's see. L. Frank Baum. Oh, yeah, he's an American author. Yeah.
Well, here's one American
Interesting.
author, Elise, our occasional partner, and she still uploading more chapters of her Sonic Avenger adaptation. So check her
Yeah.
out, I guess. If you
Yeah,
want
it's-
some real American written literature or something.
It's quite the coincidence that she always uploads a new chapter whenever we do the live streams.
Yeah. Just so that we could, like, just promote it.
Yeah, plug it in. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Plug it.
Oh well. So, Captain, or Sala, I should say, you weren't here last time. Anything you want to say about the Sonic X episodes we discussed last time?
yeah, so that would be the first 3 episodes of Season 3, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Alright, so, yeah, so just some quick thoughts. It introduces one of the best original characters to Sonic X, and that is Cosmo the Cedrian. She's a little plant girl who comes from a dead planet to explain to everyone about the plant eggs. She's just a great character, and like there's so many people out there, including Ian Flynn, who wants her to return. And I hope they do. Like the most we've gotten since Sonic X ended was like some cameos of something that's a little bit spoilery. So see, I hope she comes back.
Sure. I hope so too.
Yes. Yeah, she definitely has her fans that have been wanting her to come back.
Including you,
Yeah.
of course.
But I don't know. I feel like I'm just kind of okay for Cosmo. I don't know. Maybe after going through Season 3 again, then I might change my mind.
We'll
Yeah.
see.
So there wasn't. I did keep my promise that I would watch the Japanese version of Season 3, and how I'm doing that is I'm watching the both versions at the same time, and I'm only listening to the dub. But like, I'm noticing several changes, most of which are minor. Like, they'll cut a few seconds of footage from the 4Kids version.
They have to
But,
cram
like-
in more commercials after all.
Yeah. So like it's usually minor changes. Sometimes a weird like they flipped the camera at one point, and but yeah. So nothing major in the first 3 episodes.
Fair enough. I haven't really been watching the American version anymore, although sometimes when I'm curious, I kind of quickly look it up. So I did check a couple things in the episodes of this week, because Amy was talking about her bot a lot, so I was kind of wondering what the American version did.
And the way I usually handle these episodes is that I usually spend, Thursdays I watch all the English dubbed episodes, and then Fridays I watch the Japanese dubbed episodes.
That's one way to do it, sure. Yeah, anyway, I got a comment from Video last time that I was ranting a bit that it's funny how Sonic just randomly shuts off his Chaos Emeralds in space, that was his attack, where he just kind of gives up being Super Sonic and falls down. Apparently there was a deliberate move to keep the Chaos Emeralds away from the villain. I guess I missed out that. Did you guys? Was that clear to you guys?
Well, I thought it was.
Yeah, it was clear to
Yeah,
me.
that when Knuckles asked him about it, Sonic explained that. So yeah.
Oh, I missed that. Oh, then I'm just an idiot. Never mind. Nothing new to learn here today, then.
Yeah, I know last time I was joking about how Sala was ditching us on the stream and because of the whole, we joked about the whole shower scene that happens in the Japanese version. It's like, yeah, you must have seen that, and he's like, nope.
Oh my god. Oh, I'd forgotten about that. Okay, yeah, so there is a significant change. I'd say a good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's something you didn't want to see.
Well, of course,
Yeah.
of course, with Japan's like, well, technically he's not a kid. He's just the older Chris trapped in a younger body. That kind of excuse.
The Japanese don't even have excuses. I mean, you ever watch Doraemon? Like, there's always, like, naked kids in that show. With the robot cat.
Oh, yeah, the blue cat thing, yeah. I haven't seen that series.
Japan doesn't care about that. It's mostly America that's very icky about that. And Europe is kind of in the middle.
Mm.
But it isn't really about kids, it's about being Chris. Your special privileges of creeping us out, I guess. But yeah, shall we start in the episodes 56? Or are there any more general statements we want to make first?
No, yeah, no, nothing in particular. I suppose the only thing I'll say about that is something I would have said about these episodes anyway, is that it's weird what effect removing a planet egg has to a planet. It seems very random.
I'm very confused about it as well, yes.
Yeah, like on Sonic's planet, when the planet egg was temporarily removed, the wind stopped. And I assume that all plants would have eventually died, but like they got it back before that. But like the wind stopped on Sonic's planet, and that was like noticeable. But on the planet they went to in one of the episodes we'll be talking about today, there became a snowstorm, so the wind increased.
It's very random, yeah. Although it seems to have something to do
different on different planets.
It seems to have something to do with the name the planet has, I guess. If your planet happens to be called Aqua, then a lot of water shows up. I guess...
like Hydro.
Oh, Hydro, that was the name, yeah.
Yeah.
And the planet... This week's planet as well, right? There's like one called after like a freeze pun. And then it starts...
It was called Breezer.
There you go. It's kind of funny how... originally they had nothing to do with that theme. It's only when... and the planet is doomed that it actually gains the theme it's named after. That doesn't really make sense. Oh well.
Yeah, that was something that was also changed in the dub.
Oh really?
Is that the planet Hydo was called Planet Secco for some reason?
Oh, that makes more sense because it's more of a desert planet. Yeah.
Yeah, and Planet Breezer was called Planet Breezy.
Okay. That's kind of lame. Oh well.
Yeah.
But right, Sonic X, episode 56. Anyone want to do a synopsis?
I'll do this one.
Alrighty.
Alright, so it picks up where the previous episode left off, with the flooded planet, and Sonic and his friends come by and beat the Metarex, and now the planet is not flooded. It's back to being the desert theme again. So the Yoda and his natives are like, defeated the monsters you have! Celebrate your victory, we must! So they do that by was in the Japanese version they call it the Heave Ho Festival, where they just throw Sonic and his friends onto this big trampoline and they bounce up and down constantly. So while all that's going on, we cut to Robotnik and his robots. They're on the same planet. They're trying to figure out how to get the Chaos Emeralds. And after a comedic fight between Eggman, Deco, and Boko, then Bokun sneaks out, and Rouge grabs him as he wants Bokun to do some favors for her. And she does so by blackmailing him by holding a special necklace that apparently that belongs to Bokun. So it's like, do some favors for me or else I'll tell everyone about your little secret. So he does so. So he gives him the plan and Robotnik's like, good plan. And so he does this thing where like, Knuckles, I need your help. I'm so sorry for being so evil. So that's the whole thing. He's like, I need a Chaos Emerald to make it back to my planet. Then I'll never do bad things again. So, of course, Knuckles, apparently falling for that trick again, decides like, we need to help Eggman with the Chaos Emerald. It sounds like, you're stupid, Knuckles. So the two of them fight. And while that's going on, we have... that's going on. Sonic and Knuckles are fighting, and Eggman's like, the distracted, now's my chance. So he goes and tries to grab the emerald, but then Bokun comes by shouting like an idiot, like, hi, Robotnik. He's like, shut up, you idiot. Which, of course, attracts Sonic and his friends. It's like, trying to steal the Chaos Emerald again, huh? And then, of course, we get the, I was about to consume the delicious banana meme, where he tries to cover it up. So... Right, so there's some talk and banter, and then suddenly, oh no, Meterex shows up and steals the Chaos Emerald. And then Robotnik's robot lackeys show up with their own robot to try and save Robotnik, which, of course, when that's going on, Robotnik spills the beans of like, yes, I really was trying to betray Knuckles. And it's Knuckles like, Eggman, you idiot. So, there's a lot of fighting going on. First, it's Robotnik and his team versus the Meterex, which they get their asses handed. And then Chris shows up, it's like, hey, Meterex, I have the Planet Egg, come and get me. So the robot frog chases after him, and which gives them enough time to charge up the special Sonic cannon on the Blue Typhoon. So they do that and shoot Sonic right through the frog, and he blows up. But it turns out, oh nope, the Planet Egg was just a decoy. Ho ho, and that's it. And then Knuckles is like, feeling down, like, I've been tricked again, and everyone's like, don't sweat it, Knuckles. Yeah, we know you're still a good guy. And then it ends.
And then Knuckles marries Cosmo, apparently, according to this picture. It looks so much like a marriage picture.
Tails Cosmo fans be jealous.
Yep, Knuckles took over.
Yep. With Sonic saying, I now present you a Kid Hug implant.
Now kiss.
Exactly, Sonic's the priest in the background, yeah.
Yeah, you mean now pollinate each other.
Oh no.
Well, I guess they listened to my complaints. Like last episode, I was complaining we barely see anything of the civilization of this planet. So it immediately starts with a lot of them, even though they still really don't matter to the whole episode. But that was nice to see a bit more of it. What was that, Euan? Sorry.
No, only for that opening bit of showing what they celebrate, or how they celebrate.
Exactly, they still don't really matter, but at least we get to show a little bit of it. And I really love how derpy it looks, like especially the dances of the characters.
Yeah.
It's like they just hop up and down, and you just see Amy and Tails like looking derpy while they fly in the air.
And I've also noticed the limited animation where all the characters go up and down. It's just still images.
Yeah,
that's a shame.
Yeah, we're flinging cardboard. Whee!
Still, it looked funny. They had funny poses and all that.
Yeah.
I liked it. It looks nice and derpy. And it's so weird that Sonic looks so bored when he learns about finding the Gale's Emerald. Like, that's the reason why they came here, and I'm like, the Gale's Emerald, whatever. I'm hopping up and down. What's more important? Whee!
Yeah.
But yeah, Melting Man, you forgot the most important detail. Namely that Amy talks about her butt the whole episode.
That's something that only happens in the Japanese version, where during the festival Amy starts complaining about her butt being sore from all the bouncing around, and it kind of continues after that. Like occasionally she'll mention like, oh, my butt's sore, and especially when Sonic and Knuckles are fighting, then apparently like Amy like points her butt at Cream, and it's like,
what the hell was that?
Look at Cheese. Cheese is blushing, so he's staring as well.
Yeah, she's like, oh, my butt hurts. Does it have any bruises? And she's like, no, it looks fine to me. Which, of course, that was changed in the English dub, where instead she's just all like, do you think these boots make my legs look skinny?
Yep.
The way she was sounding it makes like she had a bad experience in Thailand.
What?
Oh, gee.
Well,
I mean, yeah, sure. Fair.
Well done. knock this out. Anyway, yeah, that was a fun episode. Yeah, what's there to say? I love the interaction with. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna bring up the bit of censorship,
Sure, go ahead.
which you have definitely shown on screen a few times, passing through it.
Yeah.
Is the 4 kids naturally, although they did this a lot less than I was expecting, but they censored Rouge's cleavage, so that like it's just completely covered up. They just very blatantly redrew the whole section of her body.
Yeah, they should have at least added one line or so, because now it looks very like
And
empty.
flat.
Flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little too much. Oh, well.
There's speaking of Rouge, like something I'm looking forward to in the through watching the Japanese version is the dub never reveals who is inside Bokun's locket. So I'm curious about when and how they'll reveal that in the Japanese version, because I know they do.
Oh, there is a reveal, because I was kind of wondering like who that was. Like, did I forget something?
The whole reveal of what's inside the necklace. I think that was only shown in the Japanese version.
Yep.
Yeah. Is it that scary R-rated stuff then?
Kinda.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
All right, looking forward to that. I didn't know there was a reveal. I thought I forgot about something in the last episodes or something.
Yeah, there is a reveal, but it happens much, much later in the season.
Fair enough. Guess we'll forget for now. Man, I love the interaction with Eggman and the robots now, where yet again the robots were just kind of mocking him behind his back, and Eggman is like immediately forcing them to come up with ideas, and then threatening to beat them up when they say they have a headache. Man, I wish we saw more of this kind of interaction, especially with Orbit and Cubot. Like, we're just kind of bantering. He just doesn't take their insults anymore. But man, I love this picture with Eggman with his psychopathic grin on his face. This is awesome.
Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, here's them talking. It's like, yeah, well, why don't you think of something special? Like, it kind of reminds you, like, yeah, this is what Sonic Colors should have been. That one bit you did with all like, oh, you're so smart, you take care of this mess.
Exactly. This is what I wanted to see more of Modern Sonic, more of this physical stuff. Like, kind of just running after them with a big giant mallet. That's just awesome. I want to see Eggman more with a mallet just chasing after people. Like he did that in that popcorn game as well, didn't he, with Sonic?
It chases him with a big mallet, yeah. But yeah, I just love it how he just immediately pulls out a whole bunch of tools. It's like, oh, you've got heads. Well, let the doctor examine you.
That's awesome. I really love this interaction. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. I also like the bit that, it's only in the English dub where like Bo-Kun tells Robotnik about the whole scheme, and then in the background you can hear Bo-Kun's like, while they're talking, and then Robotnik's like, such a brilliant idea that I came up with. It's like, hey, I'm the one who came up with it. Yeah, now it's mine. It's only in the English dub. In the Japanese version, it's played more straight.
Yeah, the English love that joke. Man, another scene I love when they were kind of hopping around at the festival is that Chris has this whole like exposition where he explains the backstory while you see him having all these derpy poses in the air. It makes me wish like all exposition scenes were like that. Like just have this straight static conversation, but all this dull static details. All the characters like hopping around helplessly in stupid poses. That make me laugh.
I've also noticed that they've got these two giant wooden ships, but I don't remember seeing them in the previous episodes, as they could have been used for them to survive on the water. They just appeared out of nowhere.
That's a good point. Then again, we never see the ships on water, so maybe they can't even handle water. They only use it on land, funny enough.
So they're used as parade floats.
Yeah, exactly. But even later when they're at the beach, they still don't use them on the water. Like Chris remains on the sand, so maybe they can't handle water. That's interesting ships.
Yeah, they're sand ships.
Sand ships, exactly. Makes total sense. Then again, you have a lot of wind in the desert, so I guess sails are still pretty useful. to be fair. Yeah, anything else? Of course,
Well,
watch the... Yeah,
hey,
go ahead.
They seem to have made Knuckles a complete dumbass again in this episode because he again fell for Robotnik telling him that, oh, I'm a good guy, you must help me, and like, oh, I must help Eggman, and I was like, you fell for this before.
Yeah.
Okay, he ends up fighting Sonic again.
Why?
Right. They even like have they even have like an entire flashback sequence
Yeah.
of all the times Eggman pulled this exact trick on him. But Knuckles is like, no, I believe him. This time for sure.
He's just so pure-hearted. Poor Knuckles.
Yeah, he's the sort of person who would fall for the same scanner 3 times.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of funny that Robotnik is also the only person you ever see Knuckles being nice to. You never see him being nice towards anyone else. Like
well, Robotnik is wearing a red jacket, so maybe that's why. Like, oh, he's red, just like me. He's totally trustworthy.
I guess. Or Knuckles only feels pity for people who are really pathetic, and only Robotnik feels that bill.
Yeah, and at the very end, you hear Cosmo saying, like, oh, if you're being deceived, then you can't hurt anybody. So, like, oh, so it's okay to be scammed?
Doesn't even make sense because Knuckles was fighting Sonic and almost caused Eggman to have the kills Emerald and cause a lot of damage. So being deceived can still hurt a lot of people.
Yeah,
Sorry, Cosmo, your logic doesn't work. Although I understand her point, at least. I suppose it's nicer to be the deceived than the deceiver, because at least you weren't doing the naughty thing.
Yeah.
But the way how it's expressed, it doesn't make sense, no.
Yeah, there's also a really weird change that happens with the flashback scenes. Like, they play the scenes of mostly episodes from season 1 where Knuckles has been tricked, and so they show the scene with, like the season 1 finale, like, oh, we gotta give the Chaos Emeralds to Eggman for the time being, blah blah blah. And for some reason, the coloring in the English dub is like very low saturated, while the Japanese version it's normal. So, no idea what happened there. It must have been like a disc error transfer or something.
And I think it's just to indicate that this is a flashback, which, yeah.
Well, with the English dub, they usually have like a fancy white border to resemble a flashback.
Yeah,
While the Japanese version, they just leave it blank.
Exactly, yeah.
Man, this episode also has this very blatant Power Rangers or Sentai Wars kind of imagery. With the whole Power Rangers style robot fighting a giant frog.
With Robotnik's mech comes in and it's like, we interrupt Sonic X to bring you Power Rangers.
Pretty much, yeah.
Although Eggman's Megazord looks really cool, I probably would deduct points of it because it doesn't have a cool moustache. But I do like the metal music playing as it's fighting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, there must be a Power Rangers reference. Or Sentai. Do they have metal music? Probably.
Yeah, well, it could be a Transformers reference.
Oh, that's also true, yeah. Man, I love the references to sci-fi anime stuff.
Yeah.
Although Transformers isn't anime. I'm an idiot, sorry.
Well, then again, giant robots are also very anime.
Plus, I'm pretty sure Transformers was still animated by Japanese studios, even if it isn't anime.
Well, yeah, pretty much. Since they obviously did quite a bit of anime between, like, the late 80s through to the mid 2000s.
Yep. Yeah, what else?
Well, I suppose for me it was just like being a bit caught off guard. Of course, when Chris was showing the planet egg, which was like just a simple sort of like round grey ball, and I thought like, oh, that's got to be a fake one. But then everyone was reacting like, he's got the planet egg! Chris, what are you doing? Sort of thing. I thought, like, wait, is it really? I assume they would like be like crystals with little galaxies, not like a literal grey ball.
Yeah, because it looked like it looked like a crystally thing in the previous
Although
episode.
I was very impressed with Chris's basketball skills.
Yeah, he flew very far. But yeah, to be fair, I suppose Chris was very far away, so he couldn't look very carefully at the planet egg.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a very impressive move with Chris throwing the ball so far.
Yeah. Their basketball skill, yeah. Now all we need is someone to edit that clip with, come on and Sam, and let's go to the jam.
You probably see a cameo of Chris Thorndike in Space Jam 2.
Really. And I didn't really get the whole thing because he didn't arrange anything with Sonic or the others. Like, he just has a plan to lure the frog to him and then throw the ball. Like, okay, and then what? Like, he's lucky that Sonic, meanwhile, jumped in the cannon and shot. Because they didn't really actually arrange that or had any plan for that. Oh, well.
No, he's trying to quietly,
Distract.
kill them off one at a time. So it's like, soon it'll only be me and Sonic. Alone together.
Yeah, we'll be together forever and ever and ever.
Forever.
There was another interesting change between the original and the dub, and that is the frog Metarex. In the original Japanese, he's kind of airheaded, and he Eggman asks him a question about the Chaos Emeralds, and the frog just says, "I forget." But in the English dub, he's a lot more serious, and he just tells Eggman that he is misusing the Chaos Emerald's power.
Oh yeah, that was a weird change there. Yeah,
that's a shame, because that was kind of funny. Usually the Americans love adding jokes. That's kind of surprised me. But yeah, they also removed a joke about Knuckles saying that Eggman should go on a diet when he catches him. So I guess they didn't want to do any fat shaming. How nice of 4Kids.
Well, I think it was referenced the 4Kids version. The Japanese version is just more like, "Oh man, you're heavy."
When I checked, he didn't say anything. Also, can I say I love when the frog comes out of the sand like a horror monster and it just says "Ribbit." That made me laugh. Like, it looks so intimidating and scary, and then he's just Ribbit.
Yeah,
Ribbit.
Yeah, ribbit, motherfucker.
That was
Dramatic
awesome.
music. Dum 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 dum. Ribbit.
Exactly. Too bad Big the Cat doesn't show up for this. It would be the perfect episode for him.
Yeah,
Go
where
catch
is
this,
Big Cat?
Froggy.
We haven't seen him for a while.
I'm also still wondering where the Chaotix is. I thought they were going to show up in space, but I really
They will.
I'm
Yeah,
really wondering how they can
they
get
will.
into now, because they're already on the other side of the universe.
Yeah, well, I think the next stream we're gonna be watching the episodes with the Chaotic, so it'll come.
All right. I'm really curious how that's going to work. Well, speaking of us being perverts and paying attention to bad details, I also noticed that Amy gets a lot of shots where they kind of almost show her panty, but she always blocks it.
Oh yeah, like that one shot where her hand is covering her pelvis there.
Very typical. So thanks for that, Japan. Yeah, what else?
It's kind of funny that the anime is going to all these extremes to hide that, whereas in the games themselves,
Oh yeah.
I don't think Amy's ever been in a game where you couldn't see her panties.
Yeah. Well, I think in most of the older games, the adventure games and Heroes.
Oh, well,
and
yeah.
whatnot, I don't think in the more recent games, I think they do a better job in hiding the pelvis section.
Well, she hasn't been
Well,
playable,
sure, yeah.
so
Yeah.
mostly when she's playable, you can see it, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
then
but,
again,
that was something I even noticed about Sonic Advance 3, is that in the special stages, in the special stages you ride on the tornado's wings, and there are parts where you speed up, and your character has to hang on to the wing, and when you're playing as Amy, you can see right up her skirt. Wow, they even did this in a Game Boy Advance game.
Yep.
yeah,
Can't
that
escape.
pixelated bottom.
How perverted of us. Yeah, it's kind of hard to notice when it's bright white. Maybe she be wearing red panties. That wouldn't be so noticeable. Oh well. But let's save our pervertedness for the next episode, I guess.
Okay.
Melting Man knows why. Yeah, anything else about this episode?
I can't think of much.
Guess we'll move on to the next episode then. Episode 57.
Alrighty.
The
So-
ice episode.
Yeah, so I guess I will take that one because ice is kind of my thing.
Alright.
So they're flying through space and they pick up the signal of a Chaos Emerald, and so they go into warp drive, and Eggman is tracking them. And he's like, let's go into egg warp. And that involves his ship getting surrounded by an eggshell and then vanishing.
That was so weird, yeah.
So they all go to... Oh, you what were you going to say?
The whole, like, eggshell teleportation thing is like, sounds like they took some inspiration from Fleetway Sonic. You know, when Robotnik, like, changed himself into an egg to get his new body.
Right.
I do want to say something about Eggman's ship, because I do like the overall design of it, because it reminds me of one of the Titans from Sonic Frontiers, namely the one from Ares Island that looks like a giant art installation.
Oh, sadly, I don't have a picture for that. But yeah, now you mention it, it does have a very weird shape. Bit of a, yeah, what is it, like an octopus tower kind of thing? Unfortunately, I don't have a picture of it now.
Yeah, so anyway...
Oh, wait, here.
They...
Sorry. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So they find the planet, and it is frozen. This is planet Breezer, by the way, or Breezy in the dub. And it's completely frozen solid. All the plants are dead. Cosmo confirms that there's, like, no life coming through them. Like, it's not just hibernating for the winter, because there is not going to be a spring. Because the planet egg has already been taken. So, back on Eggman's ship, Rouge comes and blackmails Bokoon again to get him to put sleeping powder in Eggman's food. And then on the planet, they start looking for Planet Egg and the Chaos Emerald. Because, like, the fact that the Metarex are still here means that the Planet Egg is still nearby. Because if it was too late, they would have already left. So, they go into the castle and they find a Chaos Emerald embedded in ice. Knuckles tries to punch it, and it doesn't work. And it's like, oh man, the ice is harder than diamond. And a Metarex shows up and he's like, yep, because we made it that way. And Knuckles goes to punch him again, and it doesn't work again.
He's that determined.
Yeah. And it's funny because, like, it's literally the same animation. and then Sonic tries it, and it also doesn't work. So they have to fight. He turns into a giant ice, like, titan. And they have to fight him, but, like, the ice is too hard. Can't break it. Except Sonic breaks it. Because Tails gives him a ring, and Sonic's able to break the ice.
Gives him 2 rings for once, actually. That was kind of weird.
Yeah. And it's funny because, like, the giant Metarex is so confident. He's like, your weapons won't do anything to me. And then immediately melts.
Well, that's later with the laser, yeah.
Yeah, surprise, surprise. Yeah. The ice melts.
Not by explosion, because they're too cold, obviously. But,
no one can break my ice armor. Just laser it. So yeah, it turned out to be really... Also, Chris gave Sonic a freaking extreme gear. And this was before Sonic Riders.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good point, yeah, maybe inspiration. Sonic Riders also loves the weird ice tracks, too. Ice forests. So it is a very much a Sonic Riders episode, almost.
Yeah.
And, of course, Knuckles was very miffed with Chris, because Chris only made one for Sonic.
Yeah,
as we expect.
Chris only has an obsession with Sonic. Nobody else exists.
But yeah, I do love that moment where the Metarex is just like, your weapons are useless against me.
Overconfident much?
I noticed the enemies literally do nothing this whole episode. Like, there's this whole sequence where armies show up, and they just do nothing but being machine gunned down. So much that I was almost hoping for a joke that they weren't even the bad guys, because I wasn't even sure why they knew they were Metarex. Because there were new designs we've never seen before. I was so hoping...
Going like, are we the baddies?
Exactly. But I was so hoping for a reveal that they were just the normal civilians of this planet, just to be murdering the innocent people. Because they literally... the dragon at the beginning fires, but everyone else never does anything. They just stand around being machine gunned. It was so funny.
Yeah. We're machine fodder.
Because how do they know they're Medirex? Because they're always new designs, and yet there's not even a second of, like, okay, check if they're something. They just immediately, okay, grab the machine guns. I'm just so waiting for them to just shoot innocent people one episode.
Well, I think with the Medirexes, like, most of them have that that kind of orb eyepiece thing. Sometimes they might have horns and whatnot, but I think that's more of like the standard symbolism of the Medirex, and the ones that are the spiky shells. I think those are just the common enemies, because we did see a glimpse of that in Cosmos flashback.
Fair enough.
Yeah, maybe it's more of a shadow, like the shadows from Kingdom Hearts, the more common enemies. So these are the more common enemies, are the Medirex.
I guess. I just hope there's no aliens on any planet that also have the same general look. But yeah, they really do nothing. I was kind of reminded of that old Dexter's Lab movie, Ego Trip, where Dexter's also under attack by giant robots. And it's just this joke where he just keeps getting bigger weapons and bigger robots killing, even though all those robots just stand around. And then at the end, it's revealed that those robots were actually his own, and they were never attacking him to begin with. I was really expecting some sort of jokey punchline, but it never came. Oh well. Man, this shot looks
there's
so...
also
Yeah, go ahead.
there's also a weird thing with this episode and the last, where Rouge is just kind of here and causing problems.
Yeah. I'm still here.
That's especially weird in the ending, because the Japanese version, when she screams in frustration, displays it for a joke. But in the English version, they play it like she's an actual villain. Like, I'll get you next time, Gadget! It's like, whoa, she's full-blown villain now. But only in the American version. That was kind of weird. Guess he's really upset. But yeah, we don't even tell why she's upset. Melting Man, you want to tell about the most important scene of the whole episode?
Oh yeah, the episode where turns out the Chaos Emerald that they've been hunting this whole entire time, it turns out that it was actually a fake, and they're not sure why just yet. And of course, we knew about this when Rouge is enjoying herself, because she snagged the emerald after all the battling that Sonic and his friends did, and she's taking a bath and admiring the jewel, and it's like, oh wait, this is a fake, man. But of course, yeah, that Rouge in their bathtub and still wearing her gloves on. Like, seriously, who takes a bath while still wearing their gloves on? And she's complaining like, oh, that snow's made me, frostbitten, it's so cold. It's like, yeah, well, take your damn gloves. Maybe then your arms would warm up.
I think they're supposed to imply that she has all her clothes on, just so don't worry the kids and the parents.
There was a part where... Sorry, you go ahead.
Okay, yeah, it's especially weird because, like, she's complaining. She's like rubbing her glove. Is like, it's giving me rough skin. It's like, no, you're just still wearing your gloves.
Well, maybe
take them off.
Yeah, take the damn gloves off. Or maybe they somehow, like, she accidentally, like, hot glued them on a mission or something.
Maybe those just are her arms.
Yeah, gloves, yeah.
Yeah, like, those are not her gloves. That's her skin.
Yeah, like the white part is her skin, and the pink thing around it, that's just decoration. So yeah, she has Popeye arms.
I thought it kind of funny. I thought it funny she's just taking a bath in Eggman's ship anyway, because she isn't even like friends with Eggman at this point. She's still a stowaway, so she's taking.
Yeah, I can imagine like Eggman wondering why there's white fur in his bathtub, and for some reason his toilet's not flushed. Who's using my toilet?
Maybe that's why she's wearing clothes in the bath, because she's worried Eggman can come in any moment. So yes, this.
Oh my god! I just made the connection between Ace Ventura and his fear of bats.
Oh boy! Because Rouge is taking his bath all the time. You mean?
Oh, I'd love to see how Eggman would react to Rouge in a future Sonic movie or something.
Yeah.
Oh my!
Die, you winged spawn of Satan!
And my wife makes a good point. If you look at the size of the bath, Rouge can just barely fit in it, let alone Eggman. Because Rouge is at least a quarter the size of him. So Eggman could barely fit in that bath.
Maybe it's his B-day.
Or maybe it's
Oh no!
Or maybe it's Bokun's bad. I mean, he's like the smallest out of the bunch.
I guess.
And plus, the core of the bathroom in general it doesn't really fit Eggman's style either.
Yeah.
It's such a confusing scene, yeah. I mean, I saw the screenshot before, but I just assumed that Rouge was actually an ally of Eggman in this one, and this room was built specifically for her. So it's kind of random, like it just happens to be there. Then again, in Sonic Adventure, there are also like random bathrooms all the time in Eggman's base, so I guess Eggman just likes interior decorating.
Yeah, all I could think of is like maybe she just felt like replacing the curtains because they all had like Eggman symbols on them. It's like, such tacky decor. Then replaces them with pink.
Yeah, Eggman's like, where's these curtains come from?
Good spying there, Rouge.
Yeah, tries to pull the curtain. It's like, no one will see me. But then it turns out it's like one of those translucent shower curtains.
Or maybe
I do find it hilarious when Knuckles tried to tell Sonic and Chris that the emeralds was taken away, but they're like, look, grass.
Oh my God, grass!
Who cares about that shit, Knuckles? Grass!
This episode feels so weird that they didn't accomplish anything, because what did they even do to get the grass to grow back? They didn't get the planet core back.
Yeah, they did. That's why the grass was growing.
Huh? When did the planet core even appear then?
Well, it appears for like a small second, like after Sonic defeats the Ice Metarex.
Oh, I guess I completely missed that too.
Yeah, and then it falls to the ground, and that's
But what was even more hilarious is that the Metrex guy blew up his own castle for no reason.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, when he like absorbs the fake Chaos Emerald to be like powerful and stronger.
What also made me laugh is that the Metarex got a very gruesome, slow death because he's all about defense, so he was slowly melting. And then
all for a fake emerald.
And then it just cuts to Cosmo just smiling silently with this very awkward long shot. Like she's just being giddy in his death. Like, yeah, melt, you son of a bitch.
It's like, you've killed me! Good.
Exactly. That's what it felt to me like, yeah. She just looks bloodthirsty there. Like, yeah, die. Nice, Dark. And this episode is just so easy to make a parody of this, where
They just straight up killed a guy.
Exactly, yeah. Well, they do it all the time with all the Metarex, but I don't get it. Are those Metarex like actual robots, or is that just a robot they're riding?
But there is
okay.
Yeah, there is
there is an explanation.
But it happens much later.
Oh,
We'll get to that.
Okay, I guess no spoilers yet.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
But yeah, look at this shot. It looks so gruesome, even though they're robots. But man,
Yeah, it's like Starscream death.
I think for the sake of this discussion in particular, I will reveal that the Metarex are alive.
well, not after Sonic's done with them.
Oh yeah, in the chat, Sala posted an image of showing off like, yeah, they did rescue the planet egg after defeating the ice guy.
It just fell out of his corpse
Alright,
and
I get
sunk into the snow.
Yeah, it seems like that's what's been happening with the planet eggs and whatnot. Like, big Metarex shows up like, oh, I'm going to destroy you, and then Sonic and his friends destroy it, and once that gets destroyed, then the planet egg is freed and restored, kind of that typical video game thing.
Oh,
Man, I completely missed that. Am I that stupid, or was it really just on for 2 seconds?
It was, literally like 2 seconds.
Alright. I don't get it anyway. Like, I thought that first episode established that they took the planet core and then moved away. I assumed to their base or to their home planet. But now they just keep the thing around on the planet they stole it from. What's the point? Well, other than make it easy for Sonic, I guess. But
maybe they were expecting Sonic at this point, and so they were using it as bait. I don't know.
Yeah, or maybe or maybe experimenting with the planet egg to like make themselves stronger. Like that's why they'd go around stealing eggs and killing planets.
yeah, but if they keep the planet egg on the planet, it isn't that effective, I'd think. But oh well. Guess they need to keep it convenient so Sonic can easily save the planets without it taking until the end of the series to do so, I guess. Fair enough. Anyway, yeah, pretty awesome episode. A lot of gruesome deaths by all the poor Metarex. I love the sequence of Sonic on the airship, the flying airboards, extreme gear, why not?
The extreme gear, yeah.
It's very Sonic Rider-y. And the whole
There
scene
was
plays like a video game anyway. Sorry, Luke, go ahead.
I was saying there was a bit earlier where Cosmo was like trying to communicate with the trees because she speaks for the trees, and I can imagine like as she's trying to communicate with the dead tree, she could hear like the tree you're trying to communicate is unavailable. Please try again later.
That'd be funny.
Nice. Yeah, okay. Cosmo speaks for the trees. I guess she's the long lost relative to the Lorax.
Yeah. Sure, why not?
I know. I'm just imagining like a very long sort of like a dial tone from that tree.
Oh yeah.
Also,
You know
funny.
what?
Chris. Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
I think we actually could make a pretty good parody of this episode.
Absolutely, yeah. It's very parodiable. I also like that Chris is the only one who puts on a jacket. Everyone else still naked. Or in their
Right.
regular dress in
Well,
Cosmo's case.
well, technically they have fur to keep them warm, so that's their only excuse.
I'm sure that's going to be a lot of help on such a frozen planet. Another thing I found fun... yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, after Sonic falls into the snow because it was a lot deeper than it looked, Chris brought out snowshoes, which, where the hell did he get those? But like Sonic, in the dub, I think he's just silent in the original Japanese, but in the dub he says, "Got any earmuffs?" And I was like, "Oh, is Sonic gonna actually wear clothes?" Nope.
Nope.
I think he did at least say, "No way."
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that
okay.
was, yeah, when he's muffled in the snow. Yeah, that was another thing that surprised me with these episodes. There's quite a lot of moments when Sonic's showing off his English.
Yeah.
They love doing
Oh
that.
yeah.
Showing off how cool he is to the aliens, even though they don't understand any language. Also, hey, credit to Chris. He also gave Knuckles and Cosmo some snowshoes.
Yeah.
So actually does care about the others. I guess he was scared enough by Knuckles for last episode for... No, that was this episode.
I do want to point out that about the design of the Metro X's ice palace, because you wouldn't think it'd be like some sort of like imposing fortress, but instead it's like some kind of like magical ice palace.
From a fairy tale, yeah. And
Yeah.
Guess that guy was fancy, even though it doesn't look like it. Also, was I the only one who was confused about the sequence? Like, first, Tails takes their more, like, planet explorer, like, their sub-airplane to fly around. They fly into a trap, then an avalanche comes at them. Yet somehow it isn't their plane that flew at the snow that's in trouble, but instead the main ship is crashing, even though that ship wasn't even close to what was happening. Like, that whole sequence confused me, or am I stupid? Because Tails grabbed one of the sub-airplanes to explore, right? The yellow ship.
No,
Yeah,
that'd
the
be...
X-Tornado.
Well, the X-Tornado is being flown by Chris, Cosmo, and such, whilst Tails is basically piloting the Typhoon.
Oh, right, sorry, yeah, I got the characters mixed up. But at least the tornado was the one that's coming at the snow avalanche.
Yeah.
And yet
Although
somehow it's the other ship that was crashed by the snow.
I just find it funny because, like, the X-Tornado is, like, still flying forward, but yet, despite that, like, the avalanche isn't getting any closer, so I'm just assuming, like, it's the X-Tornado that's chasing an avalanche away.
Yeah, the animation looked really weird.
Yeah, fear my wrath, avalanche.
They're so bloodthirsty in this episode they even want to kill the snow.
Hey, Snow, guess who I am? What? I'm Chris Thorndyke. Oh, crap, run away!
Run away!
Perfect.
Yeah, there's also Robotnik doesn't get much screen time here. It's mostly because they're knocked out from the food that Bokun brings them, and it's kind of weird that the Japanese version, there's this whole scene of them like chilling out in their snow fort while they're just hanging out, and then Bokun drags the food into them, and yeah, that's all cut from the English dub, so it kind of comes off as a bit weird, like, oh, they're just passed out because they ate too much. But then later on in the English dub, he reveals, like, oh no, I accidentally spiked your food with sleeping powder and whatnot, which is, like, already established in the Japanese
Yeah, because
version.
in the Japanese version, it turns out they were drinking, like, booze or, like, Japanese wine or something, so they passed out from being drunk.
Oh, yeah.
Rice wine. That's sake, I think.
Yeah, oh yeah, rice and rice balls. It's like, oh, rice balls, don't you mean jelly donuts?
Jelly?
That's so fun.
Nothing beats a jelly-filled donut.
And also quite funny that they were hiding outside an igloo instead of, like, their own base or something.
Oh yeah, it's an igloo in the shape of Robotnik's head. That was great.
The fact they put in the effort to do that.
Yeah, because I imagine it must have done like a lot of extra work with modeling the eyes and the goggles and everything.
Yeah. Maybe they just made a normal one, but then Eggman says like, okay, but make it look more like me.
Yeah, I can see that happening. Yeah.
That's Eggman with his big bloated ego.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which,
I mean,
got to mention.
actually, now that I think about it, he did give Deco and Boko shovels and tell them to hide the base. So,
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of random, yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, it's like, here, take some shovels. Now make the fort. Like, aw.
Poor guy.
Oh, that was another thing I forgot to mention in the previous episode when, like, the robot frog shows up and it's like, oh, I'm gonna stop you, Metavix, from stealing the emerald. And then it's kind of weird because in the Japanese version, it's a bit more of the fourth wall break. It's like, hey, I'm the main villain of this episode, kind of thing. So yeah, even in season 3, you can't escape from the meta-ness of Japanese Sonic X, Roger.
Yeah, that really bothered me. I was so happy they kind of like get rid of it, but yeah, it kind of returned again.
It comes back when you least expect it.
Pretty much, yeah. I guess just because Eggman didn't have much of a role in the first 3 episodes, it was missing in action at the time. Don't you love it that the only character where we know where they carry all their Chaos Emeralds and all their hammer space is Rouge, and of course we know exactly where she's hiding her stuff.
Oh yeah, where she keeps that necklace hidden. Yeah. I'm surprised that was kept in the English stuff. Like you'd think that would have been removed, but no, it's still there.
Yeah, I guess they missed that. Or was that important that we know about the necklace, even though apparently they deleted the reveal of it, so there was no point to it. Oh, well.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. In the Japanese version, there is a reveal. In the English sub, it's like, well, I don't know. We'll just say Bokun's gay. There.
I was thinking that too when I looked at it. Or he has an image of, like, Eggman in there.
well, I'll say it's not Eggman, it's someone else, but I won't say who it is.
You should have just said it could have been Eggman, or maybe.
Or
maybe it's
like in
Eggman's
that
mom.
Sonic short with Eggman dressed as a Chippendale.
That one. That running gag.
On second thought, man. Yeah, on second thought, like, nah, it couldn't be Eggman, but what if the necklace had, hey, Mama Robotnik in there? I'm sure John Gray would love that.
Oh man, in this episode, Amy's also really a bitch. Like, she constantly takes away Tails' orders, stealing his lines as a captain. And then even the line later where she only refers to him as a captain sarcastically.
Oh yeah, that was a bit of a... Yeah, that kind of only happens in the Japanese version, yeah.
I think I've also noticed something else. I think it was this episode that when she names the drive, it was like Master Drive in the Japanese version I've been watching, which is I think it's a nice little nod to like the Master System and the Mega Drive.
Oh, I didn't catch that, but if that's true, that's kind of cool. Yeah,
because you said Master Drive.
Master Drive and a Saturn cast. If only. But yeah, if they did that, that's pretty awesome reference. They don't really do many other Sonic or Sega reference in the show. They're too busy making reference to other science fiction stuff like Transformers and Thunderbirds and all that.
Yeah, they're too busy making it Japanese.
I guess so. This is really the generic space anime show that just happens to have Sonic as main characters, yeah.
Yeah, which I assume that was the main inspiration for those Sonic X like spacesuit figure toys that Toy Island made.
I guess so.
Yeah, that was weird. They're like, Toy Island or whatever company. They did like figures of like Sonic X characters and whatnot. And then for some reason they made one of like Sonic and his friends and these like fancy spacesuits with like scepters with the Chaos Emeralds on top of them. It was like, yeah, that never happened in the show. What the hell did that come from?
Oh, up until Sonic Boom, then Knuckles finally got to wear a spacesuit.
Oh yeah, then they actually did make a figure of like the spaceship Sonic Boom.
But yeah, here is Sonic X. You just see Sonic chilling on top of the spaceship in space at one point before he runs through the cannon. Well, that's the next episode. Right, are we done with this one?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
The massacre episode. I guess we move on to the next one, the jungle episode.
Yeah, I could talk about a synopsis for this one.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, in this one, the starship, whatever it is, go to near the jungle planet, but they get suddenly attacked by two of the Metarex. One of them has like these tentacle things, and they also got this little monkey robot next to him. He's like his mate. The tentacle Metarex thing was like destroying the wings, so they get Sonic into the cannon thing that shoots him. And shoots right through it, but it goes hurtling straight into the planet because Chris didn't think, oh, wait, I should have done a retrieval thing for him. So Sonic crashes into the planet, and by coincidence, he crashes into Eggman as well and manages to find a Chaos Emerald. So it's like, hey, happy days. So Tails and Knuckles decides to go to the ship to retrieve Sonic, and Amy was like, "Oh, can I come too?" But Tails like, "You go and help Chris," but Knuckles says, "No, you stay in the kitchen," which pisses Amy off. so she's like, "Well, screw you then." So she goes off with. So as the ship lands or something, and Cosmo and Cream decide to do some recon, Amy walks off in a really angry huff, so she was trying to find Sonic on her own, and it turns out the monkey robot also survived, but like his mate's dead, so he has to figure out what to do. But he decides, I will take from the book of Wile E. Coyote. That'll work. So Cosmo, Cream, and Amy, they find the egg thing because they've taken the egg thing. And standing there, middle of nowhere, and they're like, "Oh, this might be a trap." But Cosmo's like, "Nah, let's grab it." So Cosmo goes and grabs it, and they get caught up in their net. Great job, Cosmo. And the monkey was like, "Ha ha, got you." So he puts them in this little like wooden hut thing, and like he walks off to retrieve the egg because he got the egg back. So, but stupidly, he didn't check any of them for weapons because Amy has still got her hammer and bashes the whole prison hut thing down. So, because he's like, I'm going to plan my next trap.
To be fair, he can't check for a hammer since it always magically appears in her hand. So, lucky for
maybe
her.
she probably calls it like Mjolnir, or she hides it somewhere, which we don't want to know.
In the same place Hooch hides her stuff, probably.
Yeah, she shoves it right up her ear.
Her nose. Anyway, so they go and find the egg again in the middle of nowhere, and Amy and Cream are like, "It's a trap! It's a trap!" And Cosmo's like, "Nah, it can't be. Like, he won't do it a second time. Come on." So she thought, "Oh, maybe if I only get captured, maybe it'll be all right." So once again, she sets off another trap. This time with rope things all tied up around her. Amy, all random. Amy tries to hide her dress. The monkey was like, "Oh wait, it's you guys again." and then he notices that Cream is flying with her ears, and she just lobs cheese at him. So
Cheese, get him!
Cheese ball.
Oh, yeah.
So they get the egg back, and so it's a bit of a toss of a back and forth of who's getting the egg. Sometimes the girls get the egg, sometimes the monkey robot gets the egg. So at one point, Cosmo throws a couple of tomato plants that were like there at the monkey robot, and I think at this point, Sonic is like trying to escape with the emerald, and so they somehow manage to cross paths. Yes, because I remember that. Yeah, they cross paths. And Amy then tries to smooch Sonic. Because I think Knuckles and Tails also found them. And then also you got Eggman coming out of nowhere with his with a new monster bee thing because he's grabbed the emerald back and he powers it up to make this really nasty thing. So he grabs all of them, and then Cosmo decides to use the egg to make the planet come alive and use all different vines and things to help them. But apparently she can't control it and it's all out of control. So Chris, who's still on the ship, is like, "Oh, what are these people doing?" And so he goes off and he arrives, and he also gave Sonic some special shoes, which turns out to be the soap shoes from Sonic Adventure 2. So he could do that really cool thing from Sonic Adventure 2 from that level, the jungle level, where he does all the grinding on the vines, which was a really cool sequence. And then did something to the robot, I think.
No, he just beats up Robotnik. The poor robot comes later.
Yeah, because and then she drops the egg and it just absorbs into it, and I think that Eggman just goes off somewhere, and the robot's like, "Oh no, I'm sorry." Oh yeah, and also it's a bit where Cosmo's like, "Oh, I am such a dumbass." Of course you're a dumbass. You fell for the same trap twice. And so, they've confronted the robot. Says, "No, you wouldn't beat up a poor defenseless monkey robot, would you?" He said, "Yes, we will." And they just straight up killed him. The end.
It's really dark, yeah. Man, I don't know. Sometimes this episode is super frustrating, and sometimes it's hilarious. It's a bit of a wild ride, this episode.
Yeah, it's like something out of Looney Tunes, like in Roadrunner, with the monkey robot trying to trap the girls.
Exactly, but this episode is constantly like, oh god, this is so cringy, and then all of a sudden it's become funny and smart again, and then it's cringy again, and it's smart again. It's like it's simultaneously the worst and the best episode, so it's a wild ride, this one. Yeah, anyone else has something to say about this episode?
I quite like the monkey robot because he is just he's one of the few Meta-X's that's like pretty goofy.
Yeah, he was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. He's pretty goofy in like different ways in both versions. Like the US dub, he's more like, "Oh, I'm not let you gonna make a monkey out of me." While the Japanese version, he's kind of portrayed more like a dork.
And a coward, yeah.
Ah, yeah. He's like, "Oh, I wasn't programmed to fight." Oh.
But yeah, it's kind of frustrating how the girls constantly fall for the traps that are super dumb, but then immediately they do awesome stuff. It's so funny that every single time my brain goes, wait a minute, why don't you just do this? And then it immediately happens. It's like this episode almost played like one of my parodies. It's kind of weird. Especially at the beginning when they just shot Sonic out of a cannon. I was like, wait a minute, is he just going to crash land or be stuck in space now? And that's exactly what happens. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that is weird.
Joe
like...
thought this through.
And when he crashes into the planet, he's like totally fine because he's indestructible.
Exactly, but yeah, out of all the Sonic falls out of space into a planet, is my favorite. If only because he's being shot out of a cannon, and it wasn't even planned. It's like, oh, whoops, we just killed Sonic. Oh well.
Yeah, that is kind of weird because like I think the English dub they talk about like, oh well, we shot Sonic out so far that he's like too far away to like use our force field one to bring him back. Like,
that's a shame. I found it funny when they had no plan at all.
Yeah, that's how it was in the English dub. In the Japanese version, they clearly say like, well, we were going to bring him back with the drive and whatnot, but I haven't made it yet.
That was funny.
Like, and I was literally like, ugh. Like you complete nuts.
I love it. This is exactly the kind of stupidity I love in Sonic the Hedgehog, yeah. Just use Sonic as a cannonball with no plans at all. Like, oh, we just shot him into space. Oh well, guess he's dead now.
Now it be called Chris X.
That was the plan all along. A lot of animation is awesome. I love a lot of the poses, like Amy being Huffy, or also have this weird cool pose was kind of nice. But I especially love the slapsticky, like when Amy jumps on Eggman. Like Eggman looks awesome when he's squashed.
Oh yeah, then Cream and Cosmo jump on the robots, which the Meta-X follows suit. It's like first like, ow, my head, and then when the Meta-X jumps on them, he just flattens their heads.
The best part is they didn't even notice what they were doing. It was just complete coincidence. Like, oh,
I really
robotic, you're here.
I really like the part that's like a reference to Sonic Adventure 2, which I think is White Jungle with Sonic grinding on the vines.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Ah, yeah.
But yeah, I was really looking. Oh, it's the soap shoes. But then again, he also had the soap shoes in the desert level. They were made so he can walk on water, which the original soap shoes couldn't do. But yeah, here he finally does.
No, those were Shadow shoes that walked on.
Oh right, that's right. We said that. Yeah.
I mean, technically, Shadow's shoes are also soap shoes, so.
Fair enough. So I was accidentally correct, even though I was wrong. Oh, that's nice. My favorite kind of being wrong.
But yeah, Amy doing all those poses. My favorite's definitely the one where she's like, has her finger in the air and whatnot. It kind of looks like, oh, Amy's got disco fever.
Yeah, it's kind of neat pose, especially how twisty she looks. It's one of the rare cases the other characters do a cool pose like Sonic usually does. It was kind of nice.
Yeah.
I like the graffiti poses.
Back in the day when Sonic had more playable characters rather than just being the Sonic-only show.
Good stuff. Yeah, and they make really good use of the characters. Like, Cream is really doing her video game stuff, finally flying and throwing chow off cheese like in Sonic Advance 2. That's pretty awesome. They keep forgetting her ability, so it's nice to see them in action again. They were surprisingly competent, despite their stupidity of falling into traps every time again, but...
And in the Japanese version, she even says cheese shot as she launched cheese.
Cheese shot! Phew.
I love how Cheesy even has this whole karate kick pose as well. That would be even better.
Yeah.
But sorry, I was just like saying like I always find it funny when like we all say like when Cream throws cheese, we always keep automatically thinking like she's actually throwing like the dairy product and not like the chow.
Yeah. Throw the cheese!
I can imagine her throwing like those cheese triangles like ninja stars.
Face the wrath of my dairy-powered justice!
Face the dairy!
These giant cheese wheels. Just throwing them at the enemies.
Cheese wheels! Yeah.
Baby Bell, attack!
They can be deadly weapons. Just play Bubsy. Those cheese wheels will kill you all the time.
Yeah, or she just throws a bunch of cheese and then summons Wallace to eat them all. Yeah, lovely cheese, eh, Cream? Yeah, no.
Make Cream fight against Wallace from Wallace and Gromit.
I can't remember which cheese it was, but there was like this really runny cheese that's like really smelly. So like she could just open up the lid and just like smell this.
Smell this.
Good stuff. Yeah, that was a fun episode. I liked it. And of
I
course,
also like the bit where, as Cream and Cosmo are just looking around, you just see Amy just walking by, being really pissed off.
yeah, that was a fun animation. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's one of the few times we see Amy that angry.
yeah. Yeah, it is kind of stupid because they just go like, "Oh, you're a girl, you shouldn't be having any adventures." Even though a couple episodes ago in the Fish Planet, she was pretty badass there, dude. Like, I don't know, man. I was really worried that we were going into like a moral about that. Like by the end of the day, it's like, "Yeah, you learned that you shouldn't do this sort of thing. Next time, stay on the ship." But no, they never go in that direction. They remain actually pretty competent, so that was nice.
Yeah, I guess this episode was just the mandatory girl power kind of episode.
I guess. Or as usual, Sonic just really sucks at telling any kind of moral lessons, which in this episode is good, because it wasn't like any moral lesson anyway. Instead, we just get slapstick goodness. That's always good with me.
It's kind of funny, like in the previous two episodes, Cosmo was practically acting like the only sane person, and then this episode she acts like a complete idiot, falling for the same trap twice.
Yeah, well, to be fair, she doesn't fall for the trap because she knows it's a trap. She's just like, "Oh, I have to do it."
Yeah, I was kind of anyway.
You would think they would at least try to change their technique or kind of throw something at the thing first or something, or just try to do something clever.
It was like, no, I'll set the trap off.
She can't even float, so or use cheese to grab it or do something clever. Have Amy throw her hammer at it, but no, they just walk straight up, grab it, and get trapped again. The only clever thing they did, kinda, in the second time is that Amy and Chris stayed away. Not that it helped, but they weren't so stupid to be all in the same spot. That's like the only lesson they learned from the first trap. Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, don't stand too close.
Yep. Other than that, they made the exact same mistake. That was kind of frustrating. But hey, then they were pretty awesome in escaping, so I guess I forgive them for that then.
Yeah, especially showing Cream's strength to hold up Amy and Cosmo.
Yep.
I mean, in Sonic Heroes, she can hold up Amy and Big. I don't think Cosmo is heavier than Big.
Probably not, no. She's pretty strong.
Unless she secretly weighs like thousands of pounds.
To be fair, she's an alien, so she might have a different biological build or something. Yeah,
different.
Well, you did demonstrate it in Sonic Heroes in Minutes, where Metal Sonic was like analyzing all their strengths, and somehow Cream was like super powerful, and you see her weightlifting.
Yeah, maybe Big's just not that heavy on weight. He's just very fluffy. It's just a ball.
Apparently Cosmo weighs 33 pounds.
Oh, they
Huh.
tell her in the information mid-commercial flaps. All right, that's cool.
Ah.
Whereas Big weighs 616.
Ooh, yeah. Well, there you go. There's your answer.
He has a full 600 pounds on her.
So yeah,
So, yeah,
Scream is pretty badass.
Scream, very strong. Not quite as strong as Rouge, who can lift Omega, though.
That's true. That's also very true.
But yeah, one thing though that kind of made me go like, yeah, serves you right in a way, was where Chris was getting agitated, like he was left all alone to try and do the repairs to the ship by himself, since Amy's wandered off, and Chris says like, "Can you go and to Tails like, can you go and find them?" And it's like, "No, wait, we got a hold of Sonic. See you in a bit." It's like, guys, you're supposed to be doing this. Why is everyone doing stuff that they want to do?
Oh, that was so funny. Yeah, aren't you the one who almost doomed the planet twice?
Yeah,
because
no,
you were selfish?
nobody wants to listen to him.
Yeah, because to me, I was like, "Oh, pot, meet kettle. Now go have babies."
Exactly.
Because that's just pretty much how I felt with that bit.
Yeah, that was so frustrating. But fortunately, they didn't go into moral lessons. If it just turned into a full-blown moral, I would have been pissed off. Because indeed, Chris is in no position to complain about this. But fortunately, they didn't go in that direction, so whatever. Guess he just finally gets a little karmic payback for all the times he was an asshole towards everyone. Because he also did what he wanted by just jumping into the teleporter to Sonic's world, because his friends didn't know about it. So even 18 years old Chris is still the same as when he was younger.
Yeah.
Just as selfish as everyone else. Poor Chris. Everyone's leaving him behind. And now he's jealous about them. They can't be the main characters. I'm the main character.
I guess we know why this is Euan's favorite episode.
Yep.
Yeah,
It has the least amount of Chris in it, so there you go.
Yeah, I mean, there was like that moment in which like it seemed like Chris was going to save the day. It was like, oh, here comes the obligatory Chris saving the day sort of moment. But then like Tails throws a Chaos Emerald at Sonic, which gets him free, and I thought like, oh, Chris, you're no longer useful. But then like he then just shoots the soap shoes into Sonic's feet, and I'm like, ugh. I was waiting for like later on with the obligatory "Let's all praise Chris."
Yeah, I was worried about that too, but in the end he didn't do anything. Well, I guess he allows Sonic to grind to Eggman instead of run, so that's Chris's big contribution. So Sonic looks a little bit cooler while he moves, and that's all he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting, where Tails throws my Chaos Emerald, and that gives him enough power to break free, and I'm like, is this the first time he's done that? But then I just realized, like, no, he did that before in Season 1, with getting those 2 Chaos Emeralds and destroying Robotnik's first base.
Oh, yeah, speaking of which, this is also the first time we see Eggman actually power his own robots with a Chaos Emerald, isn't it? Or at least as it turns super, even change color.
Yeah.
So this is the first time they have to deal with a super-powered robot, even though it doesn't really matter in the end.
Well, technically, this is the first time one of Robotnik's robots is powered up by 1 Chaos Emerald. He already powered up 1 with 7 Chaos Emeralds in the Season 1 finale.
Oh, that's true, yeah. But they didn't change color, so this is where it actually...
Right, yeah. This is the only one where a robot has a super transformation.
Yeah. Well, that's mean. So one of Robotnik's machines gets more privilege with Gale's Emeralds than even Knuckles, Tails, and Amy ever had. Actually changing color.
It's the Super Egg Bee.
Yeah. And then it still didn't do anything useful.
Yeah.
Merely get caught up in the trees who hate everyone. But yeah, kind of funny, because I recently just finished watching Sonic Prime, where Amy can also like make trees come out of the ground, so now we're dealing yet again with the trees being created, except now by Cosmo. Maybe Sonic Prime stole that idea from this episode. Probably not. Kind of funny how the trees immediately try to kill everyone who were trying to save them. It's not very nice, trees. You're not smart. Very dumb trees. Well, that was this episode. And of course it ends with Sonic just killing the monkey robot in cold blood. That was kind of dark. I guess he asked for it, but still, it's kind of brutal to see Sonic just murder someone like that in cold blood. Like, well, you're not stealing the planet egg anymore. Boom. So they're actually living beings that Sonic killed now?
Some some of them are. There are robots among the. I think this one specifically was a robot, but there are cyborgs amongst their ranks. So
Yeah.
All right.
That means they're easy to okay to kill.
Because that robot was mourning the death of his brother at the beginning. Like, bro,
yeah,
you're destroyed. I'm all alone now. So it feels kind of dark, to be honest. Like,
My big bro, no, we only knew you for like 10 seconds.
well, he knew him for longer, I guess. But yeah, very interesting episode. I had a good time. Yeah. Anyone else have something to say?
Also, there's a very hilarious image that Euan's made of Chris about to make a slam dunk.
Oh yeah, the edited pic that you
Just
posted.
a moment. There you go. Send it to Warner Brothers. We want to see Space Jam 3. You don't have to put in any Sonic characters. Just Chris and Ugly Sonic, I guess. That's the one Sonic he can have for himself. Then again, we should ask Disney for that, I guess.
I just saw the post that Sala made.
Just a moment. More meme pictures coming up.
it's what I say every time I think of that song now.
Where does that come from? Is that on an airport or what?
I hope so.
Yeah, it looks like someone would be holding a sign up or something.
Alright. Funny. Come on and slam, and welcome to Japan. Yeah, it rhymes. Worked in songs, so that's good.
Yeah, Space Jam, Japanese edition.
Sure, why not? Alright, shall we move on to the next thing? Sonic
Can do.
Fleetway again?
Oh yeah, Fleetway Sonic, yeah.
Alrighty. Where Matrix Tales returns, or Blade Runner Tales, I should say.
Using the power of the TV remote to blast his enemies.
Or blast us, because he's staring at us. What did I do to make you angry, Tails?
You know what you did in Sonic Movie Madness.
Oof.
Yes, their attempt to make Tails really edgy.
Yeah.
The little edgelord.
Or maybe he's just like, I hate this channel.
Tails,
This show's not good.
kind of looks more like Nicole than it does a remote TV remote. Maybe he's angry at Sonic RG. But yeah, Sonic and Captain Plunder and the Mystery of Sanopolis Zone Part 2. I guess I should do a synopsis for once. So this is a very video game gameplay comic. I find it very interesting because they're really adapting the zone itself very literally, more than usual. So we start off with the boss fight of... last time Captain Plunder wanted to go find a pyramid in Sanopolis to steal the treasure. And of course Knuckles wants to stop him. So now we cut to the Sonic 3 boss fight with the stupid sand robot temple thing that I never understood out of the game. But which here looks like an actual soldier, which is kind of cool. And it beats up Sonic. But of course, just like in the video games, they trick him into falling into this quicksand and dying horrifically. Man, you British really make those comics always look very gruesome. Poor robot while he sings away, looks so desperate. But yeah, they go around in the pyramid, and we get more video game representation, like those weird handles they pull. Except here it actually opens a treasure room for Captain Plunder. And Sonic and Knuckles managed to get the scary ghost after them, which I was kind of surprised to see them represent. But then again, Sonic Fleetway loves all the dark, edgy stuff, so we get those ghosts who look even more creepier in the comic version. I love the art style. And then they escape. Man, I suck at doing these synopses. That's why you should be doing this in the future. Anyway, Sonic and Knuckles are trapped, but then they make the sand column out, and then instead of in the video game where it kind of carries them above, Knuckles just finds a secret exit. I'm surprised he just doesn't punch through the walls, considering how strong he is here. But kind of confused why he even bothers with dropping the quicksand here, since the enemy's already gone anyway. But yeah, that ends this story for now. And my pathetic synopsis. Anyone wants to say anything about this one? Captain Plunder?
I do like the representation of, as you said, in from Sonic 3 and Knuckles with the sand golem, and how the ghosts look even more terrifying here than they do in the game.
Yeah. Golem,
because I remembered how scary it is when, like, as soon as it gets dark, you have to find one of those switches fast, otherwise they'll get you.
Yeah.
I know. I seem to find them like a little bit silly in a way. I mean, especially considering where one of them just literally just punches Captain Plunder in the back of the head just before he gets out.
That was kind of funny, yeah.
Yeah.
But I definitely remember, like, many years ago when I was over at a friend's house and they were playing, like, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and they were literally at that boss battle and they just kept hitting the boss. And I remembered reading the comic and I was like, hey, maybe lead it to the quicksand bit, and they did so. And of course, that was how they defeated the boss. And I had like a sort of like mind blown moment because of it, because I got like a game tip from a comic strip.
Yeah.
Even though the previous issues, they literally had boss strategies printed in the game, printed in this magazine.
Yeah, but it's like, but I never read them, like, because I never owned any of the games, and obviously there was a lot of text. But here it's like a comic strip that, of course, gave me the idea of, like, you know, maybe you should take the boss into the quicksand.
Yeah, so there you go.
So my little 8-year-old brain was like, whoa.
That's pretty awesome, yeah.
I do find the panel where the golem just smashes Sonic's head in really hilarious.
Yeah, literally just his head all gone.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat to finally see Sonic being a little bit weaker. He's usually too overpowered, too smug in these comics, so I kind of like that when he's getting beaten around. I'm so happy Knuckles is here. He's like the only one who can kind of keep Sonic more balanced.
But yeah, just looking in the next panel and just seeing like Sonic's feet sticking out of the sand. Like it was a very strong punch.
Golem punch!
Awesome. But yeah, I especially love it's Sonic's own smugness that gets him beaten. Where he's like, oh, it's just look behind you trick. I won't fall for that. It's like, it's nice when his own smugness like fills him. He gets beaten up over it.
Yeah, he's too busy talking about his ego. It's like, yeah, wasn't that great, Knuckles? Like, Sonic, look out. Ain't I so weak, Pascal?
Yes.
I
Guess
love
what he rightfully deserves.
Little bastard. Yep.
Oh, and there's also a hilarious panel where Plunder tells Phil to pack the treasure, but he has to remind him that he's a ghost. He can't touch anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's basically his catchphrase at the moment. Says, I can't touch anything, I'm a ghost. Because they'll keep hammering that in every single time it comes up.
It's what he says to his girlfriend every night.
Which one?
Good question. Never mind. That's what she said. Joke that didn't work.
Yeah. But of course, even like the captain tells Lich to basically just tell the ghost, like, you know, like, don't hurt us, we're chums and all that sort of such. But of course, he's like, I'm a different type of ghost. It's like, must you be so specific about your entire life? Or lack of?
Yeah.
The one time we have a use for a ghost.
Yeah. It's like, you're a ghost, Fields. Make friends with the bad.
I can't make friends with them from the hood! They're like rival ghosts?
Yeah.
Monster ghosts.
Yeah, it's pretty scary looking how making the ghosts from Sonic 3 look pretty demonic here. Yeah.
As they should, because they are terrifying. Love the color.
They are. They're very weirdly creepy for a classic Sonic game.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
And of course, Captain saying like, oh, we got attacked by 50 evil spirits. No, 100. We have to tell them like how many evil spirits we have to fight against. And of course, at the end, he like over-exaggerates even more by saying like 200 we fought up against.
Yeah, that's also starting to become a running gag with him.
Yes.
Poor Captain Plunder has to desperately keep his reputation.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right, shall we move on to the next story?
Yeah, and by coincidence, there's a review for the Pirates of Dark Water for the Mega Drive.
Oh, I didn't have it here, but yep, awesome. It's like a
Ah,
beat 'em
yeah.
up game, wasn't it?
Yeah, only got 83%.
Yeah.
And then there's a review for the Smurfs on
Yes.
Genesis, which we all know from Roger's quote-unquote review that the secret way of beating Gargamel is that he just needed a big hug.
I'm kind of surprised they showed the final boss in the review, in the screenshot, yeah.
But, yeah, of course. And overall, it's Smurf-tastic.
Which doesn't mean anything, can be both positive or negative, but Smurf means everything.
Oh look, there's Gargamel. He's so happy to see me. Give me a hug.
I just find it funny of like how Gargamel looks though. He's just like wondering, what am I doing here? Sort of look to his face.
Yeah, he's like, oh shit.
I think I left the stove on.
He got so caught up about trying to cook the Smurfs that he accidentally left the stove on with no Smurfs on him.
But yeah, also in the news zone section, they of course show off like the unreleased Neptune console, which was basically a 32X console.
Ah yes, the unreleased 32X that was meant
Yeah.
to be a standalone 32X console, which is a real shame. That probably would have been a more affordable way to play the game rather than trying to hunt down a Genesis and a 32X add-on.
Yeah, especially since it could do, all the things without needing like all these extra cables and needing another console, etc.
They showed the
Yeah,
Neptune? I don't recall that. I did see the Piku advertisement. Are you referring to that one?
Yeah,
It
the
was
Neptune.
page 18.
Yeah, the Neptune showcase happens like right before the Pico showcase.
Oh, I
Yeah.
missed that somehow. Let me check quickly.
I mean, but I wonder if
Hey,
that's where
Mr.
most
Right.
people. Just wondering if that's where most people get those like bigger quality pictures from, because since the Sonic comic basically had like a massive like picture of it shown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mega Drive and 32X packed into one stealthy-looking box.
There's a Smurf review. With a beautiful looking Gargamel.
Yeah, and apparently it costed about 400 quid. That's pretty high.
Oi.
But yeah, here, the missing Neptune console. Man, I completely missed out on that.
Yeah, it seems like you're really missing out a lot this
Plus
time.
it says 32X, so I thought it was just about the 32X console, not Neptune. But yeah, a bit of a lost Sega history here. Man, they really had a lot of consoles between the Mega Drive and the Saturn. That really bit them in the ass in the end.
Yeah, and then there's the Sega Pico stuff. I was surprised with the fancy display case they have for it. It's like, man.
Yeah.
I have to laugh at that panel with the kid with the big hands, and there's an image. The text that says, "You need hands."
Sorry, handicapped people.
Yeah, like one image he has big hands, and then the next image he has a big hand with a long arm and a normal-looking arm.
Almost looks like a 3DS, funny enough. The Pico.
Yeah, I mean, I did
Oh, yeah,
remember seeing the Pico in person, like with the display stand in an Argos store many years ago. But obviously, I never picked one up because, like, why would you spend like £150 in like '90s money on something which is basically made for younger kids?
Indeed. Also kind of weird they say, like, the Tills plays Pico, starring role for him at last. It's like he already had Till Sky Patrol, and he has a couple starring roles in this comic, so I don't know why you're suddenly so obsessed about that.
Yeah, Tales and the Music Maker.
Yeah, there was that, and then there was the Sega Sonic Game World thing also for the Pico.
Yeah, that was a Japanese only. From what I heard.
No, I think there was a U.S. release of the game, or at least released outside of Japan. Because I mostly heard about the differences. Like, yeah, the Game World thing has mini games, fun, da 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 da, and then you have the Japanese version where half of the mini games are like gambling games.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird Sega history. Stuff I barely know anything about, except for the Saturn. But never played a Pico. And nobody ever played the Neptune. Except in that weird a hyper dimension game or something where she's like a main character.
Yeah, maybe. I know. There's a few like prototype models that exist, and I think one of them actually worked. Which, yeah, there should be a video on YouTube somewhere of someone showing off a fully functional Neptune model.
Well, what's the Neptune supposed to be? Since it's in between the Genesis and the Saturn, like, so it's just another 32X kind of thing then, but then standalone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was meant to be a standalone 32X console that, like, while the Sega Saturn was still being worked on, they figured, oh, we'll make a standalone 32X console to make them, keep them entertained, blah, blah, blah. But then, of course, the whole thing was scrapped to focus more on the Sega Saturn, which, yeah, even though it did, which it did get finished, but then again, no one remembers the Sega Saturn.
Nope.
Yeah, I think we can tell around this time that Sega are probably really struggling trying to create consoles to compete with Nintendo.
Yeah, this is the beginning of the end, sadly. It's like here they started panicking, making stupid decisions. And when they finally got their act together with the Dreamcast, it was too late.
Yeah, it's a real shame. It's like... Yeah, it's a real shame because like the Sega Saturn's a neat console, but like most of the games kind of suffer of that. Oh, gotta play it safe, gotta make like 2D games or make it like 2.5D games. There's rarely any games that really made full use of the console's hardware.
Even though it could do pretty good because the 3D level of Sonic Jam looks amazing.
Oh yeah, the 3D levels where it's more challenging than the Genesis version.
Huh?
Yeah, the special stages from 3D Blast. Yeah, the Saturn version.
Oh, no, that's not what I'm referring to. I was referring to the 3D play area from Sonic Jam.
Yeah.
Oh, right, Jam. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the mini hub world, yeah.
That looks pretty amazing. But
yeah, I remember seeing that in Sonic Mega Collection, and I had no idea there's only like part of the game because I thought, oh wow, an old 3D Sonic game, but no, it's just like it's just a hub thing.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just one play area.
Yeah. Like a rough prototype for Sonic Adventure.
Still pretty awesome. And a good showcase of what the Sega Saturn could have done. And of course there's the footage of Shamu on the Saturn, which is also kind of curious how that would have played. But we'll never find out. But I think we're going a bit off topic, so let's get back to the little comics again. Anyone wants to do the Tales in Zone Runner, the Big Freeze story? Where we get a little bit of a preview to Sonic Forces? With,
you want to do it, Euan?
Sorry, what?
I was saying, you want to do it, Euan?
Yeah, Euan, you want to do it?
So much pressure on me, oh my god. Well, okay, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, you're forced to now.
Well, exactly.
Poor Euan.
So, yeah. So basically a floating platform flies into Marble Garden Zone with Tails taking a snooze. The floating platform extends an arm out, just prodding. It's like, "Oi, wake up!" And then it starts showing an image going on from. I keep forgetting the character's name. Zap. Runs a hologram and basically just gives a message saying like, "Tails, we need your help," or basically Zone Runner, "We need your help." But then, like, the hologram ends up showing off an explosion with a kaboom, and Tails like shocked, but then like Tails like regains himself and basically gets on the floating platform or drone, where he finds his too oversized jacket and his like portable Nicole 0.5 model.
Pretty much.
As he flies off to chemical plant zone, which has been engulfed in like toxic fumes, and once he goes through, he realizes like those toxic fumes are basically creating a snowstorm, and he almost fly, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm going to crash into a wall," but ends up realizing it's just a tunnel that was just covered up by snow as he goes through the drains and such, where he finds the old Flock's hideout, which has been blown up. Unsure like if anyone survived, but yet he gets encountered by one of the bad guys, being Sulfuric, with like Tails assuming that he was responsible and thinks like his time's up when Sol basically just responds back saying like, "They're all dead, every last one of them." It's like, oh shit. And then he continued.
Yeah, this is a pretty dark comic strip for Tails. It's like Sonic equivalent of Andor.
Pretty much, yeah. But yeah, it's kind of cool to see Chemical Plant Stone frozen already, like it was going to be in Sonic Forces. Although here it actually looks properly frozen. Looks kind of neat, actually. I love the
It was
colors
pretty
too.
funny how they given Tails a jacket.
Yeah. To make it
And
more...
the fact it's like still one size too big.
Poor Tails.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're back in the Blade Runner parody, I guess, with Tails stepping in.
Yep.
So let's see how that goes. But yeah, not much happens yet, so just a couple cool shots and the big cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Everyone's dead because this is British, the British Sonic comic, and we don't care. We
They're
like
all
to
dead, Tails.
Yeah.
We're Fleetway. We like death. Because we make Judge Doom.
Exactly.
But yeah, in like that one panel where Tails flies off on the drone, you can see like Mobius apparently has 2 moons.
Yeah, that's kind of cool detail.
Nice, yeah.
Twice
I mean,
for Eggman to blow up in Sonic Avenger 2. Too bad Fleetway never got to that point. well.
Officially, yeah.
Yeah.
Also love the final panel where the guy just has a machine gun pointed at Tails. There you go. So Sonic Avenger 2 wasn't the first time they had a gun aimed at a Sonic character. And here's like a realistic looking minigun.
Arm mounted, of course.
Of course. Has to be extra badass. Well, not much to say about it, except that Tails' platform really resembles Eggman's Eggmobile a lot.
It kind of reminds me of one of those things from Wacky Workbench from Sonic CD.
Oh, good point, yeah. Fair enough. Sonic City was out at this time.
I mean, I see it more as the actual chemical plant floating platform, but they just added like a handlebars and like a small, like, you know, windscreened.
Fair enough, works that way too.
As per usual.
Either way, creative, but we'll see how it goes. Next comic, starring Captain Plunder, and there's only one person who can do a synopsis of this one.
Yes. Yeah, apparently Captain Plunder is a bit of a bother again because he's surrounded by these by the SWAT bots, so he has to like bash his way out alive because apparently he's been captured and he's on jury. But apparently it doesn't seem to be going well, but his defense attorney is like, "Oh, is this the face of a brutal pirate?" And he's like, "You're trying to be funny, lad." So apparently he gets a bit impatient, and because he thinks the whole thing's a kangaroo court, and so he tries to go after his defense attorney, but so he just has to refrain him, and. Whilst all the things have been recorded for Robotnik television, because it's been sponsored, but sadly by the creepy judge, Captain Plunder has been made guilty. He's been found guilty, and he'll be taken from this place, and he'll be hung like a pirate, or until he is sorry, or he's dead.
Yes.
So with this reporter who says that he's been imprisoned, and apparently he's trapped. Plunder is like all chained up in a horrible-looking dungeon, along with what looks like a battle toad and not Felix the cat, and also you got a little cameo, a very realistic-looking head from Decap Attack in the bottom right corner.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. Well, that's one way to traumatize the poor captain.
Of course, Plunder and the weird cartoon character have a little conversation, but sadly, but apparently he can. He knows a secret way out of the cell, but decides like, okay, then matey, we'll have a truce. So he gets his little mechanical thing out and stage a breakout.
Dun dun dun, and that's where we leave off. Man, I keep being impressed how you British artists can manage to be this creepy and intense and goofy and cartoony at the same time. It's such a perfect blend.
Yeah, because I really like how creepy the judge looks, because he kind of looks like a Skeksis of the judge's wig.
Yes.
He can play right in my nightmares, yeah. But then his defense attorney looks very goofy. I love that. And the stupid creepy people in the audience also awesome. I really loved his art style. This is great.
Yeah, even the robots look a bit creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like how, of course, in that one panel, like, members of the jury, I give you Exhibit G, and his response was, he was just lucky. Just because it's like a talking head.
Yeah.
Where is that?
Yeah, that's at the beginning part of the story, at the bottom. Do
Why
you
am
not
I
see it,
seeing
Roger?
that? No.
It's at the start.
Yeah, it's on the first panel. Yeah, bottom left. No, bottom right.
Never mind.
Jeez.
Like,
Are you drunk today,
it's
Roger?
literally the first page of the story, Roger.
Yeah, it's the first freaking page on it's the third panel on the bottom right.
Oh, right. I now find it. Sorry. Yeah.
I also missed a very dark joke here where the reporter says that none of the inmates that have committed crime are ever reoffended, and someone just piped up and said, yeah, because they all got hung.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one, yeah. Gotta love the dark humor here.
Yeah, it's pretty dark that they allow hanging in Sonic's world.
Yeah, apparently so, yeah.
Yeah, imagine, like, Eggman trying to string Sonic up by the gallows. Really dark.
Can't wait for that in the Sonic. That should have been a Sonic Force where you just see, like, all kind of citizens hanging on the
Yeah,
entrance
like
of
the
town.
beginning of At World's End.
Exactly, for Pirates of the Caribbean. That would be something. You British and your darkness. And then we get the art where we get a nice Sonic and Power Rangers crossover. It's really Power Rangers Day today, isn't it?
Apparently.
Sonic is the Red Ranger.
Yeah.
Because of his shoes, apparently.
And then someone took inspiration from the little Lego pirate captain figure.
Yes, he
and
does
basically
look
gave
like
it
that.
just
Yes.
onto him. It's just because of like the green and sort of like the side belt and all that sort of stuff. That just it's like you only ever see that in the very old sort of pirate stuff.
Yeah.
Or this is how what Sonic would have looked like in the pirate dimension in Sonic Prime.
Who knows? Yeah.
Here, Scurvy the Hedgehog. Yar.
There we go. Now to hope we get a Sentai dimension, so we have a place for that Power Ranger Sonic to belong to.
Because you are a pirate.
Yar har fiddly dee.
Favorite Ken
I'm-
Contact song.
And I can imagine that would be like the song that would play on Captain Knuckles' ship in that dimension, because they're all about partying. Yar.
Captain Dread, yeah. Right, next issue. Man, I love this cover. Man, imagine walking in a magazine store and just finding this comic book with this pirate just yelling at you. Yeah, put me in a very Sonic-y mood.
You wouldn't think this is a Sonic comic at all. You think, oh, it's a comic about pirates.
Exactly, yeah.
Sonic the comic, you will be hooked by Captain Plunder.
Of course.
Yeah, this comic has been pirated. Ba-dum-ching.
Literally.
Yeah.
How naughty. Anyway, yeah, I love a Reef comic. Anyone wants to do a synopsis?
Let's. I think I'll do this one.
I suck at them, so go ahead.
Right, so it opens up with the Death Egg still being on Angel Island, where Robotnik and Grimer are finally coming close to launching the Death Egg to destroy all of Mobius and the Emerald Hill folk. But in order to get it running, they'll need the Master Emerald to power it up. So he decides to send out a certain robot to do the job. Meanwhile, Sonic and Knuckles are traveling through the caverns. Knuckles is like, see, I told you I know my way through the tunnels. It's like, yeah, well, that's what you said the last time we ran into a dead end. And they find themselves in the lava wreath zone. I think that's it. And they discover, hey, that's Robotnik's Death Egg thing. It's been sitting on this volcano the whole time. And then, oh no, here comes a bunch of egg robos to fight them off. But it turns out these robots are special, as they have cameras for eyes, so Robotnik can see everything that they're doing. But of course, that doesn't stop them, as Knuckles breaks open a crater with hot molten lava, which spills out and destroys the egg Robos. So while that's going on, they're like, oh no, I have a bad feeling of what's happening. So they head over to the Hidden Palace Zone and discover, oh no, the Master Emerald is gone! So while they're figuring out of like, oh, how are we going to get it back? And Robotnik's like, haha, the Master Emerald will be mine at last! And so yeah, Robotnik has a bit of a victory gloat. And then it cuts back to Sonic and Knuckles. It's like, oh no, who's that? It can't be! And it turns out it's Metalex, the Metal Sonic! Dun dun dun!
Oh, that's their name for it. Okay, cool. Man, I love the colors in this final page. Really awesome. The green glow.
Yeah, because we rarely ever see like a super metal Sonic.
Yep.
Yeah. At least in comic form.
Yeah,
That's
in
true.
comics, yeah.
I mean, in the game, he also turned super, right? Like in Knuckles' final boss.
Oh yeah, the Knuckles stage, yeah.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there ever was an explanation on what Mecha Sonic was in general. I always just kind of assumed that it was just Metal Sonic, but powered up by the Super Emeralds, which I guess that would explain why we never saw the Super Emeralds again, because he drained all their power to become Mecha Sonic, and then got beaten up by Knuckles.
Exactly. Still didn't have his chance. Nah, I think we had we thought he was just an old beta version of Metal Sonic, like an older version of it.
I don't know, not really. I don't know. I guess it's just more of my personal preference because I'm definitely not a fan of the whole deal where Sega nowadays considers Sonic CD to take place before the events of Sonic 2. I just really don't like that because I mean, if like Silver Sonic and Mecha Sonic came out after Metal Sonic, then it really downplays the whole fact about Metal Sonic being the ultimate, design, the super-powered foil to Sonic. So I always figured, like, Silver Sonic was just a prototype model, and Mecha Sonic was just Metal Sonic temporarily powered up by the Super Emeralds.
Fair enough. Then again, maybe he already created Mega Sonic and Silver Sonic before Sonic CD, but then just kind of left them in the basement, because And then after Metal Sonic was destroyed, then he brought out the old prototypes again out of desperation. Who knows? Guess we'll never know.
I know Robotnik did that once in Archie Sonic's new timeline, where it's established that the events of Sonic 2 happened first, so they had Silver Sonic, blah blah blah, and then the events of the 8-bit Sonic 2 happened later, where he brings out the prototype model of Silver Sonic more as a last-ditch effort to try and stop Sonic.
Fair enough, yeah. Anyway, back to the comic. Is there much to say about this one?
I really like the page with the giant face of the Death Egg just staring down at Sonic and Knuckles, just like in the game.
It's really awesome.
That big page sort of thing. It's like, hello.
I don't want to hear that voice come out of that face. I don't want to have any voice come out of it.
No, even if it's like a booming sort of microphone, like megaphone sort of voice, like, hello down there, I see you.
No, man, now I hear this Mr. Beast voice coming out of him.
Sonic movie where you hear Jim Carrey's voice going, Hedgehog.
Hello.
But yeah, it's an awesome page. Yeah, really great representation of the scary Death Egg in the backgrounds. That's what they can do best with Sonic Fleetway, having these creepy pictures. Jeez.
Yeah, I kind of like that one page of like how Robotnik's sort of like gloating cheerfully, and then when Grimer points something out, Robotnik's like on the verge of like beating him up, and Grimer's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, I always love it when Eggman is so emotionally quickly shifting around, like super happy one moment, pissed off at the next.
Yeah,
and then back to being cheerful again.
A minor detail, you fool!
And then back to being constipated again. Because that's always been the theme with Fleetway Robotnik. He always looks like he's constipated.
No, I think that's just the design of Robotnik.
Yeah. It's like,
awesome. But also, Grimer looks funny in the first panel. Oh, he's so happy to please Robotnik.
Yeah.
I'm so happy my boss is happy.
It really is a good day. A good day for villainy.
So heartwarming. And in the final page, when he's scared of Robotnik, he looks so disappointed. Like, no, what have I done? It was such a beautiful day.
It's just like recycling one of your old sort of jokes, but swapping out Sonic with Robotnik. We all know that catchphrase.
Yeah. The one we've always brought up on the live stream is our
Yes.
casual, reoccurring joke here. Yeah, but not today because Sylvia said that we should behave.
Very well, very well. Let's not make any. We have made enough butt jokes for now, I guess, with Amy. Yeah, any other statements? Fun comic, awesome coloring. Man, I really love the coloring of these. They're really like full-blown paintings.
Yeah, especially the green glow in the last page.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Love it, but yeah, not much to say. It's just fun stuff, I guess.
This epic last panel where I was like, finally I get to see Metal Sonic, but then realised it's the last page for that week, and I'm like, no!
What a cock tease.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There you go. Anyway, back to Tills and Blade Runner universe. Who wants to talk?
Probably go for this one.
Alrighty.
I'll just.
Although we have to save you up for Captain Plunder later. Where's actually Sala? Is he gone?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I was hoping to do the next issue, but yeah, I can.
No, you don't have to do. I was just kind of wondering why I didn't hear you too much. Because I'm kind of slow myself today.
I've been reading these as we've been streaming.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Because I procrastinated too long.
And I kind of say Fleetway Sonic at the last minute. Like, usually I try to read them before we actually go live. But yeah.
I mean, same thing with me, but then again, I read only like the beginning sort of main story and the Plunder story. I kind of skimmed over a bit with the Tales one.
Fair enough. Guess I'll do it even though I suck at it. Anyway, yeah, so Tills has been held under gun by... Man, I'm really slow today. Tills just has a gun in his face because Scary Sheep is there. Because,
Yep.
Man, I'm really slow today. Darn it, can someone else do it?
All right.
Yeah, let's Sala take over for old man Roger here.
Okay, so Tails is being held at gunpoint, is what you were trying to say.
There we go.
And Tails doesn't trust him because like he was working with Nuts and Bolt, but he reveals that he only worked with him temporarily because well, I guess they'll get to that, but he like has Tails put on sunglasses and a trench coat and like try and hide, and it didn't work for a second. Everyone recognizes him immediately. They go down. Tails asks why he's helping, and the Soul explains that like Nuts and Bolt like betrayed him and like used the chemical plant zone to like for evil purposes. And then when he tried to go back to his flock, Nuts and Bolt blew it up. But then it is revealed that Saab is alive, and Soul is only slightly surprised, I guess. He barely reacts to it, even though he seems pretty shocked. And yeah, that's pretty much where it ends.
Pretty much, yeah. Man, I love
Yeah.
Tills' picture in a wanted poster. That's awesome. He's so happy.
I do find it funny that Sulfuric has a very tiny arm.
Wait, who's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the bottom right of the first page, you get to see him with
Oh,
a very
right,
tiny
yeah.
arm.
Yeah.
Oh,
That is
yeah.
weird. I guess that's when the wool is taken off of the sheep. But yeah, I really love the wanted poster of Tails. He's so happy he's wanted. Someone wants me, yay!
Yeah, it's kind of
Wanted
funny
for
to see.
smiling.
In Robotnik Land, that's illegal, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting how these cliffhangers so far have always ended with like gunpoint, like the
Exactly.
the eye patch sheep is like, Tails, prepare to die, but it's like, nope, just kidding, I'm the good guys again, and then it ends with like Sab's like, my death was exaggerated, prepare to die, and then it ends.
That's awesome. Now I want every comic to end like that, even though it has nothing to do with guns. Just it's a happy ending, everyone's happy, and a suddenly gun comes out of nowhere. Just a point in someone's face.
Yeah.
To be continued. I don't know what's going on, but here's a gun.
You killed my flock. Prepare to die.
I have a gun to my head. Yeah.
I also like the design of Nuts and Bolt because he looks like a very creepy looking robot, and he's got all these little necklace of all these other tiny little robot heads around him.
He looks awesome, yeah.
Yeah, weird detail from when we talked about him in the previous stories. Yeah.
He's one of my favorite character
Yeah.
designs, absolutely,
Like,
yeah.
like the fact, like they all the little heads just talk to him and such, saying like, "Hey, do you see that behind you?" He's like, "What?"
Yeah, it must be a headache for him with like those little mini heads that they had to like bicker in an argument and whatnot.
Oh, well, at least he doesn't have
I don't know. A part of me's just wondering, like, if that's just referencing, like, robot versions of like voodoo heads
Probably,
that he literally just has around
Yeah,
his
it
neck.
could be. Yeah, I can see that. Although, like, or maybe the mini heads are kind of like the robot's other personality, so he has this kind of weird multi-split personality. That'd be something.
Well, instead of having a lot of voices in his head, he has a lot of voices outside of his head. So,
Yeah.
there you go.
I
It's
also
like,
like the establishing shot of the little the shanty town, which looks like a wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Having a town
Yeah.
inside of Chemical Plant Zone. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And of course, Tails wasn't cautious.
Yeah.
So it's just like, just like, what Luke just said, being a
Hell yeah.
Star Wars reference. You'll never find a hive of scum and villainy. We must be cautious. Hey, aren't you so manner? I said caution.
Because the shapes don't work.
Yeah, I mean, like, he doesn't even bother trying to hide his tails in his code. Like, it looks big enough to fit it, but like, no, I guess he's just too excited to see his mug on a wanted poster.
In fact, the first thing he does is indeed walking up to the wanted poster. Hey, everyone, look, I'm on this wanted poster. Oh, wait.
Yeah, they just can't get my nose right.
Poor
I
Tails.
also have to laugh that when you see the base being blown up, you got a little sign that says the flock headquarters, so that's why they were found so easily.
Yeah. There you go. Well, at least they're more subtle than Robotnik. At least they don't put a giant head of themselves on top of it, I guess. But yeah, nice of them to advertise where they were. I'm sure a Robotnik.
Just thinking of Tails like ripping down his wanted poster and walking up to people. Does this look like me?
Does this smile suit me?
I still love how derpy he smiles on that. That's awesome.
Well, hey, I should be worth way more than that.
We don't ever learn how much he's worth, is it? We don't see the number. At least in Sonic Adventure 2, we know he's $1 million worth, so there you go.
But imagine here he's probably only worth like maybe 10 quid.
He respects him.
Yeah, no
He's the
respect.
Tony Chopper of Sonic.
Exactly. Wanted you get you have to pay us 10 cents because the paper and the ink we wasted on this wanted poster was too expensive for him. It's like,
No, it's probably like worth like a £10 gift card voucher from Tesco's.
there you go.
But yeah, you can only buy like a Tesco value sort of tin of tomatoes.
He's worth a $25 gift card for Olive Garden.
There you go. Well, we know how much worth they are because Sonic Movie loves them. So there you go. That's why he went. That's why he showed up at the end of the first Sonic movie. You heard all those references to Olive Garden. It's like, hey, that's where my money's worth. That's my worth is. Right. I guess we should be moving on. Unfortunately for a sexy lamb lady, sheep lady. Back to Captain Plunder and his Sky Pirates.
Yar.
All right, then. Okay, so apparently Plunder's crew found out he's been captured and decided to go and break him out. So they decided to sneak in. Plunder and the cartoon character, who's called Simpson the Cat, who's managed to remove top of his head, decided to escape. But he has to make sure the secret tunnel will actually get them out, which apparently is in that wall outside of their cage, and looks like Plunder's about to eat him. We call him a scum-sucking beep, Moggy. And Simpson's like, hang on, let me think about it. And then he sees like his question mark, grabs it, and uses it as a key. And which even Plunder's confused about. So they just have to work out how to escape the guards, which the creepy-looking Battletoad catches them in the act. So they get into a bit of a scrap with the Battletoad with a wooden plank. So meanwhile, Simpson gets out a tin of black paint and paints a big hole, which he falls down in. And he's got at least 20... whether it's 20 or 25 they've sorted out. So Simpson opens a little door in the wall, and they stage their breakout. While meanwhile, Plunder's crew apparently just trying to go in with Phil putting a very goofy face.
Yeah.
How you do?
Captain Plunder was as good as rescued.
Yeah, I think he might be a little too excited to go rescue Captain Plunder.
Yeah, it's one of those funny comical moments thing as the characters are about to escape, their crew is about to break them out.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
Yeah. Stiff. Yeah.
Yeah. I will admit that I do like how the Captain Plunder looks in these panels, like Nigel's been having a lot of fun drawing him with all these sort of like reaction poses and such, like huh? and then like that one,
like he's about to eat Simpson's head.
Exactly. There's a great contrast too. He looks kind of realistic, and then putting him with this super Looney Tunes character is awesome.
That's kind of interesting. Yeah, Simpson the cat, the long lost relative to Felix the cat. Especially with his cartoony logic, like, has a question mark, use it as a key, blah blah blah. And his name is Simpson, so of course I can imagine him sounding like Homer Simpson. Yeah, this turtle was big by Billy Gulch. It took him 20 years. The day before he was going to use it, they pardoned him. Poor guy never got it over it.
Probably more like Scratchy with a high pitched voice. That's not a Simpson technical.
Radio.
Wait a minute. Please.
This tunnel was dug by Billy Gulch. It took him 20 years. The day before he was going to use it, they pardoned him. Poor guy never got over it.
I also love the face that Simpson is making whilst they're being caught.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, ah!
Yeah, like, Plunder's like, and Spencer's like, ah!
Yeah, it's over the top expression.
Yeah. One thing I kind of noticed though is like when, like Plunder and like the dungeon master or keeper basically start to fight, and yet one thing Plunder does is grab the dungeon master's lip for some reason.
That's a very weird move. Yeah, it must have been an accident with drawing, probably.
I do gotta say, I am always a fan of suddenly a cartoon character existing in a non-cartoon setting. So that's exactly what Simpson is. He's just doing normal cartoon stuff, but like it's so unusual for everyone around him.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he's in prison.
Probably, yeah. You don't belong here.
Under arrest for shenanigans.
Yeah,
Cartoony shenanigans.
He's the Pinkie Pie before Pinkie Pie.
There you go.
Exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's been arrested for cartoon-related crimes.
Yeah, having too much fun playing patty cake with the ladies.
Oh, wow. Roger Rabbit reference. I do kind of wonder what happens to the dungeon master by falling into a fake cartoon hole like that. So he's just stuck in limbo now or something? Because he doesn't actually fall anywhere.
Well,
I think he just landed. Maybe he's in the basement.
Yeah, well, hopefully for his sake. Otherwise, he's going all the way to the other side of the planet.
Yeah. Whee!
Oh well, guess we shouldn't be worrying about him. He's ugly, so his fate doesn't matter. Poor ugly people.
Yeah.
Get no respect.
Yeah.
Love the face expressions. Yeah, they keep looking like they want to eat each other. Especially our ghost
Come
idiot.
here, I'm going to eat you. Get in my belly.
Exactly, yeah.
Or him being like, "Do you see my heart?"
Yeah, exactly. It reminds me of the Robotnik scene, yeah.
What color is my heart, Snively? I don't see one, sir. Exactly.
There you go.
Do you see my heart?
That was actually a pretty good impression of Snively.
Oh, thanks. I haven't really tried doing a Snively impression, so this is kind of my just winging it kind of deal.
Your Charlie Adler voice. If you can't do his voice, you can do a lot of characters.
Oh yeah, he's done a lot of characters in the '90s, like Cow and Chicken and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Buster Bunny.
Oh yeah, Buster Bunny and Rocko's Modern Life. Yeah.
Oh well. But yeah, that was Captain Plunder. Sonic Drift was apparently released and got a very bad score. How dare they?
Yeah, so I guess they predicted the future, the whole, and yeah, why am I driving a car? And that's why Sonic Drift sucks.
Although, did they
At
say
least-
that?
Not really, but
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting to see them reviewing it since the first Sonic Drift never got released outside of Japan. So obviously,
Oh yeah.
when it
this
got
was-
released in the Western area, they simply renamed it on the box art and the cover sort of thing as Sonic Drift, but yeah, in game it's called Sonic Drift 2.
Too
I
lazy.
wonder how many
Oh,
people
yeah.
pointed that out.
Yeah, I
Like-
forgot about that. How the Sonic Drift 1 was never released in America until years later when they made those compilation packs in Sonic Adventure DX and Sonic Gems collection.
And in
What
UK
make
too,
them-
because it's the UK, of course.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah,
And of course, nowadays, we all know how Sega likes to pretend that the Sonic Game Gear games don't exist. Yeah.
Poor games, yeah. Oh well.
I mean, they,
Off to piracy then, just like Captain Plunder.
Exactly. He teaches us well. Well,
Yeah.
the Game Gear games did get
Show
re-released on the
emulators.
3DS at least. Sorry, Euan, what did you say?
no, just referencing one of your old animations of like going to the treasure trove of ROMs and emulators.
There you go.
But yeah, since you mentioned Sonic Game Gear games being released on 3DS, yeah, well, not anymore because I think by now the 3DS eShop's dead.
Well, I mean, it's still open at the moment, but it ends on like the 23rd of March, I think.
Oh right, it closes.
So yeah,
in March
2
this
more
year.
months, people.
So if you want
Yep.
Sonic Triple Trouble on your 3DS, then buy it now. Yep,
Yeah, do it,
Yeah.
do it now.
exactly.
Do it now! No!
You can even have a Game Gear background theme, which I do.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, a couple of games in here. Oh yeah, this one for Asterix and the Power of the Gods for a Genesis.
Yep.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't think that was the. I know Asterix has a lot of games that, of course, were only released in Europe. I think in America we only got one Genesis Asterix game. I can't remember which one that was.
Great Rescue, probably.
Oh yeah, I think that was it. Yeah.
I prefer the Game Gear version of that game. But it's mostly the Super Nintendo game that has the best Asterix games. Obelix
Ah,
and
yeah.
Asterix is awesome.
Yeah, I've heard Luke's enjoyed one of them, like one of the more newer ones. It was
Asterix and Obelix Slap Them All, which is basically
Yeah.
an arcade brawler.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
on
I
the Game Boy
saw-
Advance, wasn't it? Or...
No, I got it for the Switch. It's basically Roman Roads of Rage.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've seen gameplay for it. And it looks really cool, that classic beat 'em up game, and how it kind of looks like all the characters are hand drawn, and really
Yeah.
nice background. And it's like, oh, I really want to play it, but of course Asterix isn't that big in America, so of course the damn game's not released in America. Humph.
I was
I
surprised.
believe they're coming out with another new Asterix game. It's called I think it's like XL4 or something. I think it's called like something of Hibernia.
Oh, they're making a fourth one of those. Okay. It's going to be 3D or a side scroller?
No, I think it's going to be top down again, like they
Ah,
did
that's
with
a
the
shame.
Crystal Mania.
I was surprised even Konami made a Asterix beat 'em up game like the Turtles and all that. That was a surprise. But that was only arcade only. It never got released on a home console. But yeah, Asterix games. They exist. Most of them are pretty cool. There you go. More of your European
Shenanigans.
shenanigans. There you go. I was looking for a different word, but I couldn't come up with it. Man, I'm really in bad shape today. I'm sorry. Not a very good stream today. Anyway, let's move on to the final Sonic the Comic so Luke and I can go back to sleep. 'Cause I definitely leave
Yeah.
my sleep.
The big issue 50.
There you go.
Ah, yes,
Yeah.
sir. 50 milestone. Yay!
Comes with free Sonic the Comic tattoos out of gold and silver.
Oh my.
So,
Ironically, we didn't get our gold and silver because we pirated this comic.
Yeah.
oh
But
no!
of course, because
Yeah.
of course, much like with the Archie issue 25, which had like a shiny sort of chrome effect, like this issue also had like a shiny gold effect to it.
Oh, really?
So,
Ah.
it's like, ooh, they're being fancy today.
That's
Ah,
pretty cool.
yeah. Didn't know Archie had a fancy cover for issue 25.
Melting Man
I'll
doesn't
see
know
what-
something with Archie related? It's the end of the world.
well, hey, it's a series that lasted for over 200 issues, so of course there's going to be something I'm going to forget or don't know about.
You, something forgetting and don't know about it? I can't imagine. Anyway, yeah, Mecha Sonic. Sala, you wanted to do this, you said? Or
It did, yeah.
Alright.
They are confronted by apparently Metallics, the Metal Sonic, who uses the teleporter to teleport away. And when Sonic and Knuckles follow him, he has absorbed power from the Master Emerald and knocks Knuckles out immediately. So that's fun. He starts beating the crap out of Sonic and knocks Sonic right over to the Master Emerald. And Sonic planned that, I guess, and transforms into Super Sonic. So yay, we're dealing with Super Sonic in Fleetway again.
Been a while.
Grimer reports to Robotnik that Metallics has gone rogue, but like he left the Master Emerald on the teleporter so they could just teleport it back. Super Sonic destroys Metallics and then starts beating the shit out of Knuckles, but changes back. And Knuckles is surprisingly understanding about the situation. But the Master Emerald is gone, the island is crumbling, and then something shows up, and that's it.
Dun dun dun.
Something shows up and that's it.
Well,
That's how you
probably a
do it.
gun to be pointed at their faces.
I mean, should we really just have Photoshop in like a gun saying like...
We should Photoshop a gun on every final panel, even when it's a happy ending. It's Fleetway comic. They just have someone pointing a gun at them every final panel. It's like Asterix and the Bankays at the end, except with Sonic, it's always a gun.
Go and ask an asset for you there, Roger.
Oh yeah,
there we
the
go.
holding meme, yeah. But yeah, Fleetway Supersonic gets to have a small moment.
I mean, it's kind of gruesome, really, of like how, you know, Sonic is literally just tearing like the disembodied body of like Metallics and just like literally tearing his like circuits and wiring out, almost like ripping and tearing out his guts.
Yeah, and then saying that he's going to turn Knuckles into a big red puddle.
Oh yeah, I'm going to put you to sleep again, but permanently.
It is kind of gruesome to see Metal Sonic's parts flying around, yeah. That's pretty awesome.
I also love the detailed designs of Mecha Sonic and say that he and Metal or Metallics are related because they're all part of one big brotherhood in the Fleetway universe.
I love how
Was
they
that
look,
like-
yeah.
Because they're kind of like the Cybermen or the Daleks.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I mean, it was something mentioned later on, but we'll get to that when the actual story pops up.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, spoilers.
But they're really nailing the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog style Robotnik with both his look and his manner of speaking.
Even though it looks
Yeah.
more darker here. But yeah, it really looks pretty good. Exactly as the cartoon.
Kind of. I mean, it's kind of funny. Like he looks angry in like the first two panels, but then he suddenly looks as though he's being cheerful again. Like, hey! Even though he's supposed to be like, you know, we got to get that Master Emerald, or else we'll never launch the Death Egg.
I also love Grimer's creepy face at the bottom when he sees the Master Emerald unattended. Like,
Yeah, like, oh, there it is.
Oh yes, yes.
Exactly like an Igor. Yes, master.
You're just my precious. You're my precious.
There you go. Awesome.
So,
It's
yeah, this
ironic that they do the Knuckles final boss, except Knuckles is unconscious for most of the story.
Yeah.
So Sonic takes over his boss fight. Well, what are you saying, Sala? Sorry.
well, I mean, to go off of what you just said, I guess we're dealing with Jesus Chuck Norris Sonic a little early in the series now.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can't have someone stealing Sonic's spotlight.
Nope.
Of course.
Total.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame. It seems like Mecha was kind of wasted. It's like, oh, cool design, and then immediately gets destroyed by Super Sonic.
He didn't have much screen time, no.
Yeah,
Kinda sad.
I guess they really wanted to follow the games that much, since Mecha Sonic only showed up in Sonic 3, and that's it.
Just in Sky Sanctuary. Oh, he doesn't show up in other stories anymore? This is actually his end?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I thought Matt Metallics was a bigger character. Oh, that's a shame.
Well, not.
I mean,
Mecha.
there might be more Metallics, as pointed out. He is part of a brotherhood of Metal Sonics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brotherhood of Metal Sonics, which, of course, was inspired off of the Daleks from Doctor Who.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why I said spoilers, people.
Oops.
I forget anyway. My brain is only working 5% today.
Typical of you, Roger.
I'm sorry.
It's too busy animating. At 4 in the morning.
Exactly. It's been too long since I had a new animation finished.
People are complaining.
Actually, no, shockingly. But still, I feel my own pressure.
The only complaint I've seen was in the recent Dissected episode, where someone was complaining about Roger being too much of a downer in that episode.
Yep. Oh boy, they're gonna love this Sonic Prime Dissector we're working on. Because I get to complain about Green Hill Zone again.
No Sonic Movie 2 Dissected.
Euan makes a noise of misery.
There you go.
I promised
Some more
him to help him out, but I never did. So.
Yeah. Gonna be stuck in limbo at this rate.
Seeing
so
the
so in other
comic,
words-
sorry, you go ahead, Melting.
Okay. Yeah, so Sonic Movie 2 Dissected hasn't come out yet. So, in other words, it's currently sharing a room with Half-Life 3 and Metroid Prime 4.
There you go.
Yeah.
Luke, you were saying?
I was going to say about Ewan's pitch, like how there's a hand coming out of nowhere with a gun. It reminds me of these old commercials for the National Lottery where this big flying gun would go like, "It's you." So I can imagine him going like, "It's you." Bang.
Yes. Have I won the lottery? No.
Perfect, yeah.
Yeah.
Not you. Bang.
God
Yeah,
exists and he's packing.
But yeah, just a quickie.
Yeah, it works. Nice, nice filter. Does wonders.
You have angered the wrath of God, Sonic.
That's no storm, buddy. It's a
It's
bullet
a
storm.
Bulletstorm. Bulletstorm's a fun game. Anywho, speaking of games, this issue has reviews for NBA Jam Tournament Edition and Beavis and Butthead for the Mega Drive.
Yep.
I didn't know there was a game of that.
Oh yeah, there was I think the AVGN covered this.
Yeah, and he didn't really
Yeah.
like it, and I found out that people actually liked it, so I had no idea if it's an actual good game or not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
maybe
of course,
yeah.
they've got like this little warning though at the sort of like just below the like Beavis and Butthead saying, "Warning: this game is not suitable for younger readers. Check rating before you buy." So why are you reviewing it then?
Oh yeah, check rating before you buy, which is something that obviously no one does.
Though it is Fleetway, we have people being hanged and all that so far, so
Yeah.
Oh
I guess
yeah,
you can handle little Beavis and Butthead now.
yeah. But UK is more edgy and it's not pussified like Americans.
Besides, the Genesis game doesn't do too many crazy stuff. But yeah, Beavis and Butthead had some pretty awesome games. Especially Virtual Stupidity is great.
It's interesting, yeah. So there's that, and then there's NBA Jam review, which is interesting. Because I've heard that's like one of the more popular sports games from the old days.
Fair enough. I don't care about sports games, so I don't know.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, as kind of an interesting coincidence, I actually just started watching Beavis and Butthead for the first time recently, because that was a show both of my parents hated. So
Oh,
All parents around the world hate it.
yeah, I'm experiencing it for the first time, and I'm still in the second season, and it's not exactly what I was expecting. It's like half of the show is just them watching music videos and making comments on them.
Yeah.
It's very
yeah.
weird, yeah. I'm surprised you managed to last through season 1, because that's a rough one.
It is,
Yeah, especially
yeah.
at the beginning when they go like frog baseball.
It starts off just very rude and rough. It doesn't really become smart until season 3 or 4. Then it really becomes better.
All right.
So yeah,
now I kind of feel left out because I think I'm the only one who hasn't seen properly watched Beavis and Butthead.
Well, you could like watch the movies, like you got Beavis and Butthead Do America, and also you got the made for the TV movie for Paramount Plus, I think, that came
Oh
out
yeah,
last
they
year.
did do a
Do the
new
universe.
movie. Yeah.
but yeah, I love the show, so I can recommend it. So, shall we move on to Zone Runner, the part 3?
Oh yeah, this.
Yeah.
Yep, I'll do this one.
All right.
Right, so we left off with our classic cliffhanger of a gun being pointed at. So Savin's like, "Huh? Why are you still here?" It's like, "Oh, I've seen the error of my ways." Blah blah blah. And it's like, "Okay, we're good." So yeah, the sheep gang. Well, the two sheep gangs are back together. So Sab kind of explains a bit like, "Oh, I recorded this ahead in advance before all the shit went down." So they decide like, "All right, we know where the location of the big bad robot is." So they head off to this ice castle, because apparently that's the headquarters of Nutsan, where after he was destroyed in the previous story, he rebuilt himself with solid ice. So that's where they're going with. So they go into his ice castle, and it's like, so our sheep fellows, like, come to die. It's like, no, we are here to stop you with tails. It's like, you brought the little two-tailed brats. Prepare to die. Shoom. So go off, a lot of fighting, a lot of gun firing, which he states like, my body is full bulletproof. Ha ha ha. So yeah, so Tails like tries to get on top of him, and he's like, "Oh wow, your head is so high," but then he quickly grabs him. It's like, I will destroy you. Any last words, Zor Runner? And he's like, "Yeah, you could call me Tails. I mean, nearly everyone does. Did go." Yeah, we continued.
Tails End,
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun.
as it says at the bottom.
Dun dun dun. And nobody ever calls Stills, especially not in the fantasy spin-off story of his.
Yeah.
Poor Tails.
Oh yeah, the nameless zone.
So be weird to end there. But yeah, pretty awesome. He built himself on ice. That's kind of clever.
Yeah, it's a nice design. And also with a very obvious weakness that every time he gets angry, he unleashes steam, which might melt him a bit.
Yeah.
That sounds suicidal. But how does he make his eyes move anyway? I guess I'm not supposed to think about it. But hey, I approve of all the gun shooting, so that's good. Lots of gun pointing, lots of shooting. That's what I want to see.
Yeah. But of course, Saul ended up like downgrading his gun arm for just a regular metal arm with a smaller pistol.
Yeah, that's a shame. Maybe it's
So I was
like a
like-
Mega Man, like he can just retract his gun arm and turn to a normal arm.
Because I mean, for me, when I saw that, it's like, really, you downgraded yourself like at the worst possible time.
He heard all the complaints about Shadow's game. Now he feels guilty. Like, oh, I don't want to be dark and edgy. I'm just gonna have a normal gun instead of a bazooka. That makes
So
me only half
basically, he had a TARDIS and actually knew like what the Shadow game was going to be, and it's like, oh, I don't want to be like this. I must downgrade myself to a
the worst
puny
possible time.
hand pistol.
What a bad decision.
That's
You
going to
should-
get Zora killed.
He should have time traveled to the Sonic Colors era. Then he would have turned his arm into a bigger gun.
Even bigger gun.
Exactly.
And obliterate everyone.
So that bad future can never happen.
Yeah.
Well, enough bashing. Let's get back to this comic. Not much to say, I guess. It's kind of a shame you don't see the Chemical Plant Zone style back anymore. And it's yet another generic fairy tale ice castle, just like a Sonic X. Kind of funny coincidence.
Yeah, but at least Sonic X looked kind of cool. Here it just Fleetway just kind of looks bland.
Yeah, it's a shame it didn't work it more into the rest of the Chemical Plant Zone art. Because in the first comic, it looked kind of cool to see like an actual frozen Chemical Plant Zone. But now it's just kind of generic ice. Although the pipes with fire coming out of them is a nice touch, I guess.
Along with the frozen like pipes, presumably above a chemical lake.
True, fair enough. And the pink snow, as if there's also like chemicals underneath.
Well, I'm imagining like that's kind of like the whole point of where like all that chemical cloud was there and made all the snow, and presumably that's how maybe those chemicals was what Nuts and Bolts was able to create himself an ice body.
Fair enough, yeah.
Just assuming, because like I said, I kind of skimmed over this like story. I mean, I'd read it, but not like just like a speedy read, because it's like, okay, that's happened. Let's move on to the next one.
But yeah, kind of funny that with both Sonic X and this one, yet again like an ice castle, and yet again ice armor. Like first in Sonic X, the ice guy could withstand explosions, and this guy can withstand gunfire. Because ice is that powerful, I guess. What a bunch of explosions and bullet holes to ice.
Yeah.
It's indestructible. The most powerful material on Earth. Ice.
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger would be proud. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
Here, ice to meet you.
There you go.
The Iceman cometh.
There you go. That's the
Let's
Arnold
kick some ice.
Ice, baby.
Fortunately, Arnold didn't sing that one. Or
Ice, baby.
Perfect. Right, so let's move on because my brain is gone. Captain Plunder, the shocking conclusion, I think.
Okay, I'll sort this out. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so Plunder and Simpson make their daring escape out of the prison by escaping through Galt's tunnel. Meanwhile, Filch and his crew attempted to go into the tunnel, and so they escape and end up in this kind of underground sewer system. It was pretty dark, so Simpson had to think of an idea, which he managed to come up with a light bulb. And so they don't know which tunnel to go through, but then they hear noises at night. And so Simpson has to put out the lights, so he decides to eat the light bulb. Of course, it makes the light go through his eyeballs, and this pisses Plunder out because he's like, turn off that light or I'll turn it out for you, which he does by punching him in the stomach. He goes, oh, thank you for that. So as they're hiding, Filch tries to go straight into the dungeons, and so Plunder and Simpson manage to make their daring escape and make the headlines. Meanwhile, in their secret hideaway cave, Plunder and Simpson are waiting for their crew, who apparently haven't turned up, but Filch has, who managed to escape because he's a ghost. But sadly, as for his crew, they all got arrested. But and Filch says, "Oh, after we rescue them, we can shout the booty." And but then Plunder says, "Oh, wait a minute, they were a bit shit anyway." So they decide, "No, let's get a new crew anyway." So then they try to go back to the ship and sail on the high seas once again.
Another happy ending. Man, I love the
Of
little
course,
background. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
we can't ignore the newspaper headlines on that one page.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Of course,
Yeah,
with
that-
Sonic the Hedgehog ate my hamster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Referencing an old video game back then called Rockstar Ate My Hamster.
Which referenced a newspaper article involving what was his name? Oh, not Fred. I think it was Freddie Starr. It was something like Freddie Starr ate my hamster, which I don't think he actually did.
It's a shame it's a reference. I just liked it more as just a random statement. That's
But
what
no.
Sonic does with the flickies. He eats them anyway.
When
Tastes
no
like
one's
chicken.
looking.
Then again, considering how much of an asshole Sonic is in this comic, I wouldn't be surprised he would eat someone's pet just out of spite. Especially if he's supersonic.
I just love the goofy sequence where Simpson has lights coming out of his eyes, and he's like, "Ah, my eyes!" and he's trying to shut it off. So Plunder punches him in the stomach.
I love Plunder's face when he punches, like his full blown rage, like ah! It's so over the top. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good thing Simpson's like a literal cartoon character because, I mean, imagine the problems of having all that broken glass in his stomach.
Oh yeah.
And it goes, doof, tinkle.
Yeah.
That looks like a lethal fit punch anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
face expressions are awesome.
Yeah, like even he has to pull that face like right at the end before Plunder like punches him. It's like, ripping his face out. It's like, you know, like he's intentionally pulling a face on like Plunder just to help him turn the light out.
Yeah. Nee.
Either way, Plunder gives new meaning to punching someone's lights out.
I also love the lighting as well in some panels, especially when Simpson gets a light bulb out and Plunder says, "Oh, I hate it when you do that."
You're a strange feller, you are, Simpson.
Yeah, a lot of black and white in this one, though. Very moody.
Yeah, fitting because one of the characters is a black and white character.
There you go. Yeah, it saved them a lot of colors in this comic.
Yeah.
Coloring. Just yellow and green.
One thing I noticed, like, because Simpson's like supposed to be a literal cartoon character, apparently he's not affected by all the different coloured shading and such. Because when you see him in all the panels, especially when it's supposed to be like really dark, he's not shaded or anything. It's like just pure black, white, and grey boots.
That's a good point. Yeah, he's never affected.
Oh yeah, especially when he lights up the light bulb. It's only Captain Plunder that has the yellow glow around him.
Yeah,
Like,
it kind of
it's
really
just
gives
normal.
it that Roger Rabbit vibe.
Yeah, it doesn't
Oh,
really
yeah.
belong in the world. Although Roger Rabbit is definitely affected by the shading. That's what a movie's known for.
Yeah.
Especially with the whole scene with the light bulb moving around. So I guess he had a major wish he wasn't affected by the lighting like this guy is, like Simpson. But yeah, it's kind of funny how it just looks completely out of place, yeah. Very fitting indeed. Well, fun little comic with our favorite hero, Captain Plunder. He's still nicer than Sonic is, actually.
Yeah, he lost his crew, but at least he still has Filch and Simpson.
And a happy happy sense of humor. Happy, a cheerful demeanor.
Yeah, I don't kind of find like funny, like, you know, it's like, we're gonna save them, and there's like, and then we could share the loot. Actually, maybe not.
He's just as nice as Sonic is. There you
Yeah.
go. Perfect.
Yeah. On second thought, fuck those guys.
Yeah, because let's be honest, the moment like, you know, the moment his loot is brought up, and obviously he's like, oh wait, maybe not. But then again, because you know, he's a pure pirate through and through, especially when exaggerating.
There you go. But yeah, so that concludes our stream for today, for the most part, I think. So that was the comics and Sonic X. So the Sala showed me there's apparently a Burger King Sonic toy coming up.
Yeah,
boring.
which,
Oh yeah,
which is kind of useless to us in Europe since Burger King no longer sell plastic toys.
Yeah, because those toys look really cool.
You got the new.
It's like, why won't you guys in America do it? It's like, dude, are you serious? Getting rid of like the Happy Meal toys?
yeah, because they're cheap. Yeah, it's kind of funny. There's like I'm just looking at the toy display of the stuff at the Burger King. It's like, yeah, there's like Sonic with a 3 Ds. There's a ring thing, and apparently there's also a Sonic fidget spinner. It's like, wait, those are still a thing? I thought that fad died out already.
It's a bunch of random stuff, so I don't miss it all that much.
Yeah.
I miss it when it just had action figures. That was more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of makes me bummed that I know when Sonic Adventure was still new, there was going to be a whole line of Sonic Adventure toys for Burger King, but that all got scrapped. But fortunately, there does exist official concept art showing what was meant to happen.
All right, cool.
Yeah, there it is.
Awkward silence. So I think it's about
As
time
per
we should,
usual.
Yeah.
Well, I was about to say, like, well, it's start of the new year, so what kind of future Sonic stuff would we be looking forward to, aside from the streams?
Updates to Sonic Frontiers.
Oh, yeah, the updates for that, new episodes for Sonic Prime, and, oh, yeah, maybe some news on that whole Knuckles, movie Knuckles spin-off series on Netflix that everyone forgot about.
Yeah.
Paramount Plus.
Oh, Paramount Plus, right.
Yeah, because I'm wondering, like, when's it going to be set? It's going to be set, like, after the second movie, or maybe it's a prequel series, like what Knuckles was doing before he encountered Robotnik.
Yeah, I think this is more of a prequel series, at least from what I remember. It's been a while since I've heard any of the info on that.
Yeah, because I kind of imagine, like, traveling the galaxy either on his own or with a team, was doing, like, various odd jobs and something like that.
I just noticed Roger posted one of the canceled Sonic Adventure toys from Burger King, and he just so happened to have picked the one toy where we have no idea what the hell it was supposed to do.
I have no idea. No.
Yeah, just the noisy
Yeah, 'cause I'm like,
aiming.
yeah, it's like the others are like, oh, there's like pullback toys, oh, there's a light up feature, oh, it spins around, and then noisy Amy, like, what the fuck does it do? I don't know. Because yeah, it's just Amy sitting and she has her hammer and looks like a batch of Sonic in the other hand. So yeah.
Looks like
I
she
don't know.
should have like suction cups and you put it on the glass or something by her pose.
Yeah. Or maybe
I
this
don't
was
know.
like,
Yeah.
maybe it's
I-
one of those bendy figures.
I don't know why I just find like the whole sort of Go Gamma Go sort of like picture there that Roger's just showing, in which his like hands down, so he's almost like going zap.
Or like the girly wave. Like, oh dear. Oh, what a silly
Yeah.
joke.
Oh, pshaw.
It's like, oh you.
Exactly. Oh, you.
Yeah. I guess Gamma's just Gamma just looks like he's doing kind of like a gay pose there. Oh,
Being
pshaw.
flamboyant.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the nice, friendly post, like, oh dear, but at the other high hand is like a big gun pointing at you.
It's like, oh you silly boy.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
it's
shoot
funny
your
though.
face off. Ah.
Yeah. It's funny that the gun itself doesn't light up. It's the eyepiece that lights up.
Yeah. But yeah, looks awesome. I wish I had it, Gamma, and then I put it in every single final panel of a Sonic Fleetway comic.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame Gamma hasn't had that much merchandise. Like, I know Resource made a figure of Gamma for, like, their Sonic Adventure line, but of course, knowing Resource, those figures are fragile and very expensive these days. So, yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait for Jack Specific to make a Gamma toy,
We
hopefully.
can only hope.
Yeah.
But then again, they did release like, Robo Sonic, Silver
Oh, yeah.
Sonic on Sonic 2,
Yeah,
so at least, that gives us a bit of hope that they might go beyond, especially with also releasing Chaos Zero.
Yeah, I'm still trying to find a Chaos Zero. I don't know if it's been released yet or not.
Neither do I. But yeah, they say a lot of stuff is coming this year, so I guess we have a lot to look forward to. Although
Yeah.
I still have a lot of parodies to catch up on and dissect it, so I'm not in any hurry.
Yeah. And, of course, more IDW Sonic in the future, yeah.
Of course. Although I keep hearing they're going broke or they have a big financial problem, so is that really
I stopped listening to that stuff because I remember like well, basically it's one of those things I've heard so many people say over the years, like, oh, IDW is gonna go bankrupt, and yet nothing happened. So at this point in time, it's become too much of a boy who cried wolf situation for me.
All right, fair enough. We'll see. Can't wait to go back to the IDW comics, but I have to finish Fleetway first, and we still have
Yeah,
200 issues to go or something.
Yeah, because there's definitely because where we left off was right after we finished the Metal Virus arc. So yeah, we still got plenty of more issues and spin-offs and the annual specials, but of course that'll happen once Fleetway's taken care of.
Yeah, I hope when I'm in better shape again, I can we can do more Fleetway issues per stream again.
Yeah,
But at the
it does
moment,
make me wonder. Since we're still doing Fleetway Sonic, like, are we eventually gonna do like the fancy the Fleetway Sonic specials or like the poster mags, like the ones specifically that had new stories in them?
I guess we should.
Yeah, because I know one of them is called Movie Madness, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
we gotta cover this.
You have trouble finding them online, though.
That's
Yeah,
a
I
good
think-
question. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I've got a few, so I mean, if we can't find them online, then obviously I'll have to try and see whether or not I can scan them. But they are big comics though, because they're not like A4 size. They're basically in between A3 and A4, so you know they're quite big.
Yeah.
One thing
boy.
I wish that Fleetway did back in the day was have like annuals that you could have like at the end of each year with like probably like strips from previous issues or something, because that would have been good.
I mean, the closest thing we got to it were the yearbooks, but those were only like. But I think they only ever released 2 of those, and then of course they reissued like the first one as a special, which was the one I got.
Yeah, with those, there's some specials that have like reprint stories, and of course, later on in the main series, they just reprinted older stories when they stopped doing new ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the same time, it's surprising they never got around to doing any like special graphic novel reprints like what Archie Sonic did. Yeah, it's a real shame. Might have been a better way to archive them rather than, having to rely on everyone to scan them and post them online, because Fleetway's gone bunk, and who knows what happened, why the rights slipped out. Yeah, sorry. So Fleetway Sonic's gone bunk, and who knows where the rights to Fleetway Sonic are in now.
That's a good question. Anyway, yeah, my brain is gone, so I think it should be ending this stream.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't really in good shape today. I don't know why.
No
Yeah,
worries.
it's fine.
It sparkled.
We had fun
Roger.
today anyway.
Fair enough.
He's probably just still trying to get over the whole Chris showering scene from the previous stream.
Oh god.
Yes, that's it. That's please, Chris.
Like, burn him.
I take it back on the gun aiming at Fleetway in every end panel. There should only be a gun in the Chris shower sequence.
Does that mean I have to edit another picture for you guys? Then?
No, I don't want you to burn your eyes on seeing that shot again.
Yeah.
Well, that was it for today. So everyone say their bye-byes. Well, Sonic sparkles over here.
Sparkle, sparkle.
Yeah, sparkle, sparkle. And just a quick plug-in, I recently posted a video called Crash Beats Up Spyro for no reason. Mostly because I was in a retro Gary's Mod mood, so I felt like recreating one of Rubber Fruit's old videos in that kind of format back when it used to be a fad. So yeah, if you're in the style for retro Gary's Mod videos, then go watch that. But till then, goodbye.
Bye.
And before I go, keep an ear out for me in Sonic Prime Dissected in the future. Cheerio.
Toodle pip.
Yes, we recorded the new Sonic Dissected, so that's coming soon. See you, bye-bye.